Hi, welcome back to Twin Takeaways. I'm Akira.
And I'm Aurora. We got Luffy again, touching my mic.
All right, so we did have some technical difficulties, so we did kind of mess up on that week. We did lose our episode and everything. So today we do get a special 2 hour episode we're going to have for you to kind of make up for that and kind of catch you back up. So we got tons of stories. I got a couple of revenge stories. I got some coworker stories, not customer. I don't know why I said customer. Coworker stories for you. Got some entitled people and even some wedding drama. So, what's your stories for today?
Along with that, with the wedding drama, I have some bridezillas.
Ooh, yay.
I do have an update from an old story.
Awesome.
And I have some petty revenge. And a couple more other things.
Awesome. So we got lots in store. Let's get started. What's your first story, Aura?
So my first one will be the update from a past, it should have been from episode 7,
Awesome.
will be the first part of it. If you want to go back and listen, if not, TLDR. It was the wife and her husband that didn't want her in-laws to come over. Well, sister-in-law to come over because she was bringing dairy into the house and she had a crazy allergic reaction. She actually put her in the ER once and then still brought it in a second time. And so she said if she is gonna come in their house, she needs to check her bags. And she didn't like that, so they said he can't come. And this is the follow up to all that. All right, and then there are two updates. Update 1: am I the a-hole for demanding to go through my brother-in-law and his girlfriend's bags if they're staying with us? I didn't plan on writing an update, especially not so soon, but a lot has happened in just one day. But first, I want to clear up some misconceptions around the second visit to our home. I did not get sick from brother-in-law's girlfriend's candy bars and milkshake cup in the trash, or some candy bars in her bag. That wasn't the problem. The issue was that while knowing our non-dairy house rules, and not only seen but also been responsible for me going into anaphylactic shock, and had gotten an in-depth explanation of my allergy and why it is so important to us to keep a home dairy-free. She still brought known allergens into my house, my safe space. That is why we fought with her and kicked her out of our house. On to the update. After the first 500 or so comments telling me I am an idiot for even considering letting this woman, who is in danger to my health, back into my house, I realized I was listening way too much to the part of me that just wanted to keep the peace and was downplaying the seriousness of the past incidents in my mind. I kept thinking the first time she might have not known how serious my allergy was, and it was an accident. And since I didn't get sick the second time she brought dairy into my home, I was exaggerating how bad it was. I know it sounds insane, but after dealing with people who don't take allergies serious for years, I've gotten used to apologizing and even downplaying my allergies to others. I sat down with my fiance and discussed the whole situation. He explained how he also doesn't want brother-in-law's girlfriend back in her home, but since I was willing to give her another chance and it was my health affected by her previous actions, he felt I should make the final decision. He ended up texting brother-in-law to tell him our original no answer stands, that he is welcome to stay with us, but she is not allowed in our house, especially since she hasn't even apologized for breaking our rule again after she sent me to the ER the first time they visited. And I'm his family, and my health and well-being are more important to him than brother-in-law visiting. I wasn't here for this part, but this is what my fiance told me happened. After he sent that message, brother-in-law called him and they talked. Turns out brother-in-law's girlfriend had told him that she reached out after the second trip, that we talked and I forgave her, but wasn't ready to have her back in my house yet. She asked him to come with him every time he visited. Brother-in-law always told her no, and that she would only be allowed to come when I told him I was ready to have her back in my house. He only asked if she could come since it had been 9 months, and as far as he knew, I had forgiven her. According to my fiance, brother-in-law was extremely apologetic and had According to my fiance, brother-in-law was extremely apologetic, and I haven't had time to talk directly to him yet, but we have planned a video chat to get everything worked out tomorrow. The reason my brother-in-law didn't ask me directly about the situation and believes his girlfriend is because he is aware how traumatic my allergic reaction is to me and that I hate to talk about it since I cannot stand to relive the situation. If anyone is interested, I can post a second update after I talk to my brother-in-law tomorrow and hopefully have a final conclusion to this whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, from the first story and from this, like the brother-in-law is always so nice to be on their side and does stick up to them, which is so amazing. And like he does. But I also get believing your partner when they said, "Hey, I apologize," and everything is good. And I get believing them, but I'm glad that he was like, I'm glad you apologized, and I'm glad she said you're good. But I am going to respect their boundaries and not have you back until they tell me that you're okay to come back to their house. Just because she forgives you doesn't mean she's going to allow you back. And that was really awesome of him to do that because, I mean, what if he did believe her and was like, okay, you can come? So it's good that he still kept that boundary of they need to still tell me when you can come back to their house, even if they forgave you. And I definitely understand too if like she doesn't like to talk about her allergies. I get not checking in with her about it, but I don't know. I still feel like I would talk to my brother. Like I get not talking to her specifically because she doesn't like talk about allergy stuff. You would
Yeah.
think you would go to your brother and be like, hey, uh, is your not even like calling his girlfriend a liar or anything, just more of so of like she says she forgives her, but like to what extent and how much has she forgiven her? Because you can say you forgive someone to somebody and actually do forgive them, but you're not fully in a full place of forgiveness, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
you feel like you can move on and be civil with this person, but you can't fully move on and be their friend yet
You
or be
forgive,
close
don't
enough.
forget.
Yeah, exactly. So like I feel like I would have talked to my brother and just in that extent of it, and not talking about it as in like, oh, did she actually apologize? Because I don't think I would jump to the conclusion that they're lying or anything. I would just want to check in to see, did she take the apology well? Did she feel okay with how the whole conversation went? Just to check in on how everything went down and like
Yeah.
just make sure everything is okay since it is my brother and his wife. That would be me, but what do you think? Would you would you say anything to them or would you be him and just kind of let it go since she said she apologized and this lady doesn't really like to talk about her allergies or your sister-in-law doesn't really talk about her allergies? Would you let it be or would you say anything to your brother about any of it? Go ahead. There you go, buddy.
Here, sit down. Honestly, I think that oh man. Okay, sorry everyone. Okay, good? Sit down. Sit down. Okay. Um, honestly, like I would still, yeah, I would probably talk to my brother and be like, "Hey, how's your wife doing? Like, um, is there anything I can do to make her feel better? Should I also apologize for bringing her a second time and um causing another situation and stuff?" But I mean,
Honestly, that's a good point. I would check if I need to apologize. Because I would be like, I knew she did the first time. I don't know if I would expect her to bring anything in her bag, but I would have just checked with her again. Like, hey, you remember, you know the rules, right? And like checked
yeah.
in. Then I probably would
But I
have.
mean, I
Like I
guess
said.
at the same time, like I maybe I wouldn't just because
Mm-hmm.
I know we're good because I am still coming over myself.
Yeah, they haven't brought anything up to me.
And they
I guess
haven't
that's true.
said like, I can't believe your girlfriend hasn't apologized, this or whatever.
Yeah,
So I don't know, it's like a mixed bag. I think I wouldn't know until I'm in the situation whether I would have mentioned something myself.
true. I feel that.
But some top comments are, I swear, why do people always lie about stuff like this? Do they really think it's not going to come out?
Yeah, dude. Like eventually someone's gonna say something about your apology. You would think, especially if
Yeah.
you're always pushing to go over there. By the time you go over there, you think they would be like, "Why are you coming over here when you haven't even apologized?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I would have
if
been
the
like,
brother-in-law ever did bring her, I feel like someone would voice something.
yeah. Well, I don't know
I
because
don't
they've
know
been
if
so
this.
nice so
That's true.
far.
She has. I feel like the husband would have said something. The husband
Yeah.
already seemed mad that she was letting her back in the house, but the husband didn't want to say anything because it was her. But I bet you when it's
That
like
if that husband looked
just
her in the eye.
I bet you if the husband looked her in
Yeah.
the eye, or even if the wife stepped away, I bet you in front of the brother-in-law and the girlfriend, he probably would have said something like, "The audacity you have to come into this house and not even apologize
Yeah, that's
is
true.
crazy." And it seemed like he was like pretty on her side, so I feel like he might say something, just not with her around because of the fact that he knows she doesn't like to talk
Yeah,
about
doesn't
it.
want to trigger her.
Mm-hmm. So it makes me think he would probably stand up for her in the end.
Another person said, "This part so much. Why stay with someone who is on the record with lies, deceit, and disregards for the safety of others? No empathy whatsoever for someone who, if everything went well, you'd be seeing regularly and tied to for most of your adult life as a family. Pokemon evolved better than this dingbat."
Uh,
And then Wallace comment, because this was me a minute ago. I was about to close this post, but came back because I saw Pokemon in the comments and had to read what was written. I'm glad I did. This line was worth it.
Honestly,
That was me.
though.
I almost closed it and I was like, wait, what is that? Pokemon? What does the Pokemon to do with this story?
Yeah, I love it.
Okay. And update number 2. So I've talked to my brother-in-law. We had a long and emotional conversation. I won't post it all here since some of the stuff we discussed is personal, but I still wanted to update you guys. To start, brother-in-law kept apologizing and saying he should have checked with us, not just believing his girlfriend, or now ex-girlfriend. He went on to explain how the reason he wanted to talk with me today instead of yesterday after the call with my fiance was because he felt like he already failed us by believing his girlfriend. We do not agree with this at all and do not blame him. So he wanted to show us he truly was remorseful of everything that has happened, not just by words, but to show us through his actions. After the call with my fiance, he confronted his ex. X first tried to convince him that I was lying and I was trying to ruin the relationship. That didn't work. So she tried to manipulate him with tears. Brother-in-law explained it was Brother-in-law explained it as now that he has fully seen all of her crazy behavior, he immediately saw how manipulative she was. A lot more happened, but I won't go into detail since it isn't my story, but brother-in-law's. The end result is that he broke up with her. He also told us more that we didn't know, including how that actually broke up after the second visit. He didn't want to be with someone who clearly didn't care about the people in his life by putting someone in danger. He explained they were broken up for about 2 months and only got back together after she sent him a message saying she had reached out to me and we had worked things out because she felt awful but didn't expect anything from him. Now it is clear that she was just manipulating to get him back. More we didn't know is that brother-in-law hasn't been happy where he currently lives for the last year or so, and that one reason he often comes to visit us is because he has been considering moving to our area. So I have a feeling she has been doing all this crazy stuff in hopes we would blame brother-in-law, and if we were mad and low contact with him, he wouldn't move here. More manipulation. I wouldn't put it past her. Brother-in-law also sent out a message to their extended family explaining the whole situation, in case she reaches out to the family, and this way I won't have to relive the trauma surrounding an allergic reaction to explain what's been going on. I also told brother-in-law and my fiance about what it's like for me to go through a serious allergic reaction for the first time. What it feels like, the absolute horror I go through. That was definitely the hardest part of the conversation for me. Neither my fiance or I blame brother-in-law. The way I see it, he's a good guy who sees the best in people and who has been manipulated by his ex. He is still more than welcome to stay with us, and with everything he told us about how he has been feeling lately, we are excited to have him stay with us and hopefully be able to help him out with everything going on. A lot more was said and talked about, but I think this is the important parts for the update. If I've forgotten anything, I will add it on an edit here. Also, thank you to everyone who commented and helped me with the situation. Hopefully, this isn't the last part and we can go back to focusing on our wedding.
Yeah, like she said, definitely not in the wrong for believing his girlfriend. I mean, I think most people would believe them and be like, okay, I get it. You probably thought about it. You felt bad. I get it. It takes some time sometimes for people to come around. And you apologize. So I think I would believe the person too. I would definitely believe the
Yeah.
person too. But I'm glad that he's like dropping her, letting her go because at this point, it's just crazy. And I feel like they are probably not wrong that she's probably doing it so he won't move there.
Oh, 100%.
If she doesn't want to move there, she's probably trying to manipulate it and making it so he feels uncomfortable going there.
Mm-hmm.
And so then he's like, man, I guess I'll just stay here because where am I going to go? Are these people that don't really like us?
Yeah.
Or just like my girlfriend?
And even though they're like all so nice of people and they were like a little bit getting manipulated by her,
Yeah.
luckily they're so communicative with each other.
Oh, yeah.
I
Definitely.
think I said that right.
Yeah, I'm a quick
That they
pass.
were able to work it out
Yeah.
without it being like a huge issue where they didn't talk or they did go out of contact or anything like that.
Yeah.
So,
And I'm excited for the brother and his move. Hopefully it goes well for him.
yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, because these people are so nice. So, a little too nice, but it's okay.
Top comment, yikes. X is an awful human being. I am happy that brother-in-law was able to see beyond her act and move on.
Oh, yeah.
And then a second one, and I'll just be our last one for this whole thing. Looks like ex-girlfriend bit off more than she could chew, and brother-in-law finally saw the light. Kudos to him for being mature about the whole situation. And now you have the potential of a new housemate. Win-win.
Definitely. Yeah. All right. This one's going to be from our wedding drama. I said ready jamming. From our wedding drama by Plum Plum 6. Bride tried to cut me out of friend group over some aloe. All right, y'all, this happened a couple months ago, but it's still bothering me. I need Reddit honest feedback if I'm the problem or not. My partner's best friend got married last year. It was a destination wedding in a country where no one speaks the language. For some context, the bride has an issue with me before even meeting me 2 years ago. Has been pretty controlling on group vacations, other vacations we took before the wedding occurred, and made it pretty clear her to stay for me. I believe this has come up because my partner is an amazing and super easygoing. So is hers. Both men are very go with the flow type people, and the other two of us tend to be more opinions. More, yeah, they said more opinions. I feel like it should be more opinionated, but that's okay. On scheduling and order of events, it comes to head when her and I disagree on how things should go. And I tend to be the one to cave in order to keep the peace. Back to the story. My partner was the officiant at their wedding. They planned to arrive about 30 minutes before the ceremony was supposed to start to get organized and double check everything was ready. I made it clear months before we went, and I wanted to Uber with my partner to the venue, as I did not know anyone else going to the wedding, and I wanted to make sure I wasn't traveling alone in a foreign country where I don't speak the language. She repeatedly tried to tell us we could not Uber together, that seeing me before her wedding would cause her unnecessary stress, etc. I made it clear I had no intention of stressing her out and that I would not be in the room with her getting ready and I would wait outside the venue at the shop nearby until all other guests arrived. I thought it was a reasonable compromise. We did not end up seeing each other until she was walking down the aisle, so I kept my side of the promise. Am I the asshole for thinking it was unreasonable for her to tell me I couldn't Uber with my partner? A company Well, actually, we'll stop for this question first, and then I'll read the rest of it. So, do you already think it's unreasonable for her to be like, you can't Uber with your partner to this
Yeah,
wedding?
that's crazy because I wouldn't also want to go by myself as a female in a foreign country into an Uber.
I think this person's a guy. I guess it doesn't say.
Okay, guy, girl. I personally, in a foreign country, no, I would not want to be myself in an Uber.
Yeah.
And like, whether I speak the language or don't speak the language, I don't want to be by myself in a foreign country.
Yeah.
I will go sit outside the venue or whatever. I will make sure that we do not cross paths. I will make sure we do not lock eyes. I will make sure like I'm in the shadows,
Yeah.
like just to go because I'm not Ubering by myself. If I
Facts.
don't know anyone else. Now, if I knew someone else in this wedding, I might be like, "Hey, want to ride with me?" But if I don't, and my boyfriend's the only person, no, I'm not. I'm not taking a whole separate car by myself.
Yeah. I think even if it wasn't even in another country, I feel like telling somebody that they can't ride with their partner, I feel like is kind of crazy. It's such a weird ask. I get being like, okay, you can't be in the venue yet. You can't see me yet. Like, you're part of like the wedding guests and not part of the party. Cool, that's totally fine. That's a fine ask to do. But to tell somebody they can't Uber with the person and they can't sit outside the venue and do everything so they make sure they're not seen by you yet or anything like that and like not disrupting anything for your day or doing anything to stress you out, I feel like it's such a weird ask. I feel like you can't tell somebody
Yeah,
they can't ride with their partner, but being in a foreign country adds another layer of definitely not. And then add on the top of not knowing the language, even more so. And then add on that they don't know anybody else, even more so. So I feel like you're going up all these levels that now everything's stacked against. Like, that is just crazy to do. I don't think anybody should be alone in a foreign country they don't speak the language in. Because if anything
yeah,
happens, at least you have another person to kind of help you try to figure out a situation. Guy,
yeah.
girl, whoever you are, I feel like it's
That's what
just
I'm
common
saying. Like,
sense.
but for me, it's always a crazy ask, but I would probably respect it if I wasn't in a foreign country that I don't know the language.
I can see, yeah. I yes, that's
Like
true.
if this is happening in like
I mean, yeah, it sounds like
a
this
couple
person would have
states over.
probably done like not Ubered with their partner if it wasn't in a foreign country. So I definitely, yeah, I think they're in agreement probably with you. I'm just saying for me, myself, and I, because I'm a person that doesn't like to go by myself and stuff, and I get
Yeah.
really social anxiety. I feel like I would be like, that's just crazy to ask, no matter what. Maybe that's just my perspective because that's who I am as a person. But I
But
think this person's
I've
really
been a
cute.
date. I've been a date to someone who's like a best man.
Yeah,
And so I went not with them
yeah.
because they were there hours early
Being
and
here.
I wasn't just gonna and it was in a totally different state
I
and
mean, yeah,
everything. So like I don't know. I don't find it crazy ask if like I can chill in my Airbnb and it's all cool, whatever. Because honestly, I wouldn't want to spend extra time with these people anyways if they're treating me like this.
I mean,
But if it's in a foreign country, I 100% would be like, no, I'm traveling with somebody that I don't because I don't know the language. I'm gonna I hate to say it, but when I'm out places, I'm not the most coordinated, and you especially are not the most coordinated.
no, definitely not.
So I'd be lost so fast. I'm gonna go with somebody else.
Yeah,
Hopefully that speaks the language. I'm gonna go with someone else.
facts,
And if you really don't want me to, if you really don't want me to go with him early, find me a buddy.
facts.
Be
Well,
like, this is my friend, or this is my aunt, or whatever, and be
yeah.
like, you can come with her.
Yeah. And I think for me, what also is getting me, and I think what's also mainly getting me too, for the part of like, no matter if it was in the country or not, is it's 30 minutes before the wedding.
Yeah, it's
That's
not crazy
so
amount.
random because by 30 minutes, you're going to be heading out literally right behind your
And
partner.
yeah.
So I feel like
Yeah, so
that's
that's the
even,
other thing. It's like it's
because
not
like,
a
okay,
big
I
time
get if it was
difference.
like an hour to 2 hours or even longer before the wedding they're going to like get
Yeah.
ready. That's one thing I would want to sit in my house because I'm not gonna go sit in outside the venue or try to figure things out an hour to 2 hours before
Hmm.
because I can leave early enough to give myself enough time to not get lost stuff because I don't know directions, I don't know my life story. I'm
Yeah.
terrible with all that stuff and traveling and stuff by myself. So I would at least have enough time. But like I would leave 30 minutes early because of who I am as a person. So, or a little before 30 minutes, I'd give myself that 30 minutes. So I'm like, we would leave at the same time. So I'm kind of I'd be like, that's kind of dumb. But I guess that's just me just because of who I am. As a
Yeah.
person, when I travel, I do get
Plus
lost
30
mad
minutes,
quick.
30 minutes I could pretty much guarantee that I'm going to be in the shop next door and I will never see you.
Yeah.
But like an hour, 2 hours. my limit of I might not sit in that shop for that long because I might finish my coffee or whatever and then kind of start to wander and then at some point, you know what? I might not be in the shadows anymore and I might accidentally wander into your sight line.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah, that point.
but
Yeah.
so yeah, I might still chill in the room. I don't know, because I mean, still foreign country. I might go sit there for. I might still go sit in that shop for as long as I can, and then kind of chill
Oh,
near the
yeah.
venue still, just because I don't.
No,
I don't
foreign
want to
country,
travel by myself.
I'd probably still go no matter what. But I just meant like I think for me too was saying within the country, like if it wasn't out of the country and it wasn't somewhere I didn't know the language, if it was somewhere like in the country I knew the language and I just happened to not know anybody, I think I would still go if it's 30 minutes before.
Yeah.
Is what I was saying. If it was an hour to two, I think if it's in the country and I like and everything like that, I think I wouldn't go with the person.
Yeah.
But no matter what happens, if it's outside the country and I don't know the language,
I'm going.
I'm traveling with somebody at all times.
Yeah.
And if I don't know anybody else, I'm going with you. That's not a doubt. Like
Yeah.
no doubt about that. I'm going with that person.
Yeah.
But
I can't hope for disdain for me. I don't know what to tell you for that.
exactly.
Like
I'm not getting lost in a foreign country that I don't know the language.
Yeah. Oh, because it's your wedding day.
Yeah, just so we don't stress
Girl,
you out.
you don't even like me. I'm not
Yeah.
going out of my way for you. Now,
Yeah.
if you're best friends and you said, I don't want to see you before the wedding,
Yeah.
I might figure that shit out.
Or not even if we're best friends. If you're my spouse's best friend, but you were nice to me, we were cordial, we were cool, okay, I'd probably try my best to do as much as I can to help you out. But if you're always rude to me because you have disdain for me, and I know for a fact you have this disdain for me because of this, no, thank you. I'm not gonna go full hearted. You say jump, I say how high. Not in this situation, my guy. Maybe if we were cooler and you were like friendlier to me, maybe.
Yeah.
But no, not when you're like kind of treating me like this. But we'll go to the next piece unless you have something else you want to say on that.
Nope, go for it.
Perfect. Says next, it's accompanying this drama, her sister got extremely sunburnt over the trip. I offered her some aloe to help with her burn, which the bride rejected on her sister's behalf. She told her to put on sunscreen. Now she gets to deal with the consequences of it.
Yeah. Tell her,
I said, I did not mind whatsoever. I did not need it. And the sister clearly did. She responded with, I would truly tell any adult this. She should have put on sunscreen, so I don't care that she's burnt and she can deal with it since she didn't want to be responsible.
Yeah, go off, girl.
And I'm in a state of disbelief. So I guess I scoff at the situation, amazed at how controlling and mean this person is being towards their sister. I don't say anything though. Just let the situation die, as we're in a group of her friends and did not want to argue with her. And the bride got super pissed at my reaction. Like, pissed enough that she decided both her and her husband were done spending time around me and have tried to cut me out of the group of four. Am I in the wrong here at all?
For giving a person aloe.
Because he tried to do it and she's like, hell no, whatever. And he said he kind of scoffed because he was surprised. He was like, what?
No, I would have scoffed.
Like,
honestly,
disbelief that she's like, hell no, she's an adult. She created her own life. She doesn't need aloe. Let her burn. Let her be in pain. And he's like, what?
Yeah. Honestly, I think I would have done more than scoff at him. Like, preach, girl. You tell your sister. Tell her. But no, fuck. No. This girl needs some aloe. I mean, she can't help she didn't put on sunscreen.
Yeah.
Maybe she didn't pack it. Maybe she didn't want to find a store to buy some. I don't know what her situation is. Maybe she didn't put enough. Maybe she put some on and put enough.
Yeah.
But, I mean, no hate. I've been sunburnt before and it sucks. And, like, I have, like, family and stuff that apply like crazy all day long. Miss a layer and they're burnt. So, I mean, I don't know what her situation is, but either way, just let the girl have some aloe.
Yeah, dude.
Who cares if she's an adult? If she burns herself, she burns herself. There's a thing called aloe.
Yeah.
That I'm sure she'll be fine if she burns herself. I mean, don't do too much skin cancer, but yeah, like, she's an adult, which means she's allowed to put on aloe if she chooses to. Ma'am, calm down.
And he's an adult. He can offer to her and he's allowed to give it to her and she's allowed to accept. Like, that's crazy to tell your sister she's not allowed, you're not allowed to give it to
Boy, let her cut you out of this friend group so you can get some peace and quiet.
her.
Jesus.
Honestly, I'd be like, at this point, this lady's being this crazy, and her and her husband are trying to cut you out, and it's a group of 4 people. Like, it's kind of hard to be like, cut me out. So I feel like I would just be like, you know what? Fine, I'll walk away. Those are your friends. If you want to hang out with them, cool. If you want me to go along, I'll go and I'll try to be civil as best I can. But obviously, they want to cut me out, and if they want to cut me out, cool. And you know
Yeah.
what?
If she told
I
me
just
that,
walk away from the situation and wash my hands of it.
dude,
But if my spouse
yeah.
wants me to go, I'll go hang. But like, I'm not gonna move out of my way to hang out with these people anymore. I'm not gonna try to be nice. I'm not gonna try to be civil anymore. I'm just gonna be like,
Although,
okay, I'll just probably ignore them if I go places now with them.
yeah.
Kind of
Although
say for myself.
I say I'd go off, but no, now I'm deeping it. I
You're
might
thinking
have
for a
to bite
wedding.
my
I don't know
tongue.
if I would yell at
Yeah,
her.
I'm gonna get disinvited from a wedding in a foreign country. I'm gonna have to head back to my hotel by myself.
Yeah.
So I might actually bite my tongue in a moment. I'm saying now that I'm really thinking about it, this isn't the moment to go off.
No, I don't think I would ever go off. I don't even know if I would go off later because, like, whatever. I don't think I would even want to get in a tiff with somebody who's just this crazy. I don't know how to explain it. She, like, thinks she controls other people's lives. Like, to tell your sister, like, honestly, if I told you on sunscreen and you're like, no, I'm not putting on sunscreen. And I'm like, okay, burn, whatever. I don't. If I decided the next day, I mean, like, maybe I would joke and be like, no, she's not allowed to take aloe. But I'm also like, that's so mean to just let your sister just be in pain and start peeling. Like, that's so
Yeah,
mean.
I would let her put on the aloe.
Yeah,
Will I slap her shoulder every time I pass her?
yeah. Would I
Yeah.
laugh at her so damn hard?
As she's peeling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I gonna, like, hate on her and be like, damn, you're dumb? Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm gonna let her put on the
But I'm
aloe.
gonna
I'm
let
gonna
her,
let her put on the lotion
yeah,
later when she's
I'm gonna let her
peeling.
try to help herself feel the least amount of pain
Yeah.
the best way she can. But yeah, I
But
might give her back some pain by smacking her arm and be like,
yeah.
ah, ah,
Well, will
ah.
I maybe poke her or something every time I
Yeah,
pass?
might
Like,
bully her a little bit, roast her a little bit, razz her some. But at the
yeah.
same time,
I'm gonna be like,
I'm gonna let her
you're
help
gonna look
herself.
a lobster in my photos. Hilarious. But am I gonna let her put on aloe? Yeah.
Yeah,
Mostly because then she'll look like a really shiny lobster in my photos.
yeah, funny. That's good stuff right there.
But I mean,
Teach their own.
at the same time, it's her day. Bite your tongue for a minute, but
Yeah,
not the a-hole.
yeah,
I would have
exactly.
again. I would have. I want to say I would have done. I would have done more than scoff, but now I'm thinking about it. I might not. But at the same time, sometimes when my anger gets the best of me, who knows what comes out?
I mean, facts. Especially after she had the audacity to tell you you can Uber with your partner and then follow up with,
And then
you
follow
don't
up
have the
with this.
audacity to give her sister Aloe who's in pain. I don't know.
Okay, treat me bad, but
Knowing
like,
us,
Jesus, your sister?
knowing us, sometimes there's a good amount of, like, 9% of the time we can hold our tongues pretty good. But there is that 10% that at a certain point people just get us so, like, it just boils over. And especially traveling, just no offense to us, ourselves and us, but
Yeah.
we can get heated quick on traveling just because
If
eventually
I
you get
travel,
exhausted and you get just fed up. And that's how we always get in fights when we travel. And like, they're
yeah,
never bad fights, but we just get so irritated. I feel like we might not be able to hold our tongue in this situation.
travel and
I
miss
think at a
one
certain point
meal.
we would just be pissed off. We would just be livid at
Yeah,
this
the
point.
amount of times we've been close to a true crime doc
Yeah,
because we traveled and then missed a single meal.
yeah, exactly. We get livid quick.
Yeah.
So, let's go to some comments. The top one is, no, you're not. She's weird. Support your partner as much as possible and keep your distance from her. So I guess this was before. My bad. I guess I should have read some comments before I read the aloe, but it's okay. Anyways, and then someone said, the bride wasn't weird. She was overly controlling. And then called her a bee, but like, agree. Her sister got sunburned and she wasn't allowed to have anything to make her feel better because the bride decided she should be punished.
Yeah,
I'm kidding. She's not just a bridezilla. This isn't just a special occasion. She's a full-time bitchzilla. Yeah, people are just coming up with different, fun,
ways to
crazy
say it.
names for her. Yeah, because someone just said spiteful, so then there's Jared going, Bitcheridoni, Twatapatopoulos, Cooter Strudel. Someone I worked with a long time ago said that once. Is what that person said. So now everyone's just giving a good insults to call her. And someone said, I hope she never has kids. They will suffer. And someone said, yeah, can you imagine? I told the kid not to do that. Now they have to have a broken arm. I'm not allowing it to be set because they live with the consequences.
That's dramatic.
That'd be crazy. Can you imagine if you broke your arm and this lady's like, nope, they did themselves.
Told you not to do it.
Don't put the cast on them. That'd be crazy.
That kid's gonna be so sad. He's gonna try to like duct tape a twig on to hold it straight.
Bro.
And she's gonna rip that twig off
Dude,
of
it's
it.
gonna be like horror movie style where they just start grabbing stuff around the house and like taping
Yeah,
it really
dude.
tight. It's like try to put it back in place. Or like in Good Boys where they slam his arm against the trash can.
Yeah, exactly.
That's gonna be it's gonna be like for the kid.
Oh my gosh, that's a good comment.
Oh man. Someone said, yeah, exactly. I'd have probably lost my shot and told her exactly where she could stick it during the Uber conversation. Not that I would have ever said anything to her about it in the first place, but she sounds like a raging bitch in regards to her sister and the sunscreen aloe situation. Yeah. Someone did say, I'm surprised your sister didn't tell her to shut the fuck up and then proceed to take OPS, OPs. I don't know why I said OPS. Listen too much of Dave's album because he says it. I know what the apps. It got me good. Anyways, Opie's offer. No wonder why she's a raging bitch. Sounds like no one stands up to her. Yeah, I'm like, how is this sister? But like, nah, G, I'm gonna take that aloe.
Yeah, if you told me that, I would have been like, excuse me.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
like,
I do have to say I can take aloe.
yeah, you're wedding or not, this is my skin that's burning, bro. What the hell? Nah, G. Oh my god. Crazy.
All right, this one is from Best of Redder Updates. And the original OP was throwaway 28471937. My mother-in-law decided to gossip with my daughter about my marriage, blowing a giant hole in my life. My wife cheated on me nearly 10 years ago. I won't get into specifics as they're unimportant, but due to the fact that I saw blame on both of our parts, I forgave her and we moved past it. My daughter is 16 years old, and she only just found out from my mother-in-law, who seems to have decided she was old enough to hear the family gossip, and that she would be mature enough to not confront her. Initially, my wife thought I had told her, and came into my office where I had been to ask me what the hell I was thinking and if I was trying to destroy their relationship. She and my daughter have been strained for a couple years now, lots of arguing on both sides. She refused to believe that I hadn't said anything at first until my daughter entered the room and joined in on the screaming that I was too weak and her own mother had sold her out. The fighting went on for a long time, and honestly, I may as well have not been there for all the good I did. I tried to step between them when I was concerned, but that only ended with some ringing in my ear. Ha ha. Eventually, my wife left to cool off, and my daughter and I could talk. She wasn't happy with me either, and it didn't hesitate to tell me so, but she wasn't screaming or throwing shit anymore, so I just let her get it out. She asked me why I stayed, and I was honest, that I was no perfect husband, and I decided not to end my marriage, break up our home, and destroy her childhood for something that I held blame in as well. The entire time I was speaking, she just kept watching me with this sad face that made me uncomfortable. But when I finished, she just shook her head and said that I needed to leave my wife and that the cheating wasn't the only issue. She started bringing up every insignificant flaw my wife has. She brought up my wife getting angry at me because I had to put too much creamer in her coffee, for example. Just trivial crap. I told her as much, but she just kept shaking her head. It ended up turning into an argument where she insisted I was some sort of victim and making some kind of getaway plan. I kept trying to talk her down, but that wasn't going anywhere. I first tried my wife, but found my call went straight to voicemail, so I called my mother-in-law to inform her of the situation. Wife had already made it there, and planned to stay the night to calm down, but she didn't want to see either of our faces. It's been a few days now, and I still haven't seen her or heard from her, but her mother informs me she's okay, just very emotional. So I'm just scared for my wife. She has had mental health struggles before, and she's going through it again. I should be there to help. Edit. To the people who have commented or private messaged me to say I shouldn't care, my wife almost died the last time she had an episode, and I don't think my daughter, as angry as she is right now, wants her mom dead. My daughter told me that she hopes her mother never came back. I'm just feeling defeated and tired. I've done everything I can do to keep my family floating, and somehow I'm still failing. It's beginning to feel like I always do at everything and always will at everything as long as I live. Top comments, or do you want to talk first?
We'll talk first, I guess. You said the daughter's 16?
Yeah, which is his normal mother-daughter 16 probably fights.
I mean, 16, she already probably has some kind of like beef with your mom. I mean,
We did.
teenagers, everybody did. Everybody does. Like, most girls, like, that's our friend who has sisters that are younger. She's like, they're acting like this. I'm like, teenagers, they hate everybody. That's just
Yeah.
their thing,
I
bro.
hated you, you hated me, I hated mom, I hated dad, I hated the world, I hated
Yeah.
everything.
And then to add on a reason to actually hate somebody and
Yeah.
being a kid like that, I mean, people date in high school. Some relationships are pretty serious in high school, but you don't have the background and the knowledge that they have to be like cheating. Yeah, you wouldn't stand for it. You leave. Cool, you say that now, but if you had their history or the knowledge that they have or the understanding of who each person is as a person, you probably wouldn't say that because, like, yeah, you can always say to walk away from a situation, but until you went through the exact same steps, exact same scenarios, exact same everything, you feel the way you know exactly the internal stuff that your mom and your dad are dealing with. You can't say you know exactly how to attack that situation. And so I feel like you can never tell a person you should walk away. You have to walk away. You can say, I think it would have been best for you to walk away, but you can't say you should have because you don't know what was going on in the relationship. Your dad could have been a trash person and you don't know that, and he could have fixed and bettered himself, and she came back because of that, and he stayed with her and they fixed it out together. They could both be trash in the situation, or he could be a great guy and he decided to choose to stay. You don't know his life and you don't know why he chose to stay or why he did what he did. And she didn't sound like she was letting him talk to explain it. She just pretty much told him he was weak because he didn't tell her and that he stayed there and this and that. But I feel like you can't judge a person's thing, and sometimes you can't say one staying or leaving is weak or strong, but because both ways could be true. You could be a strong person for staying, and because you rebuilt it through your relationship, you pushed through this tough time, you went through all this stuff and this turmoil to fix it. But you could also say there's a weakness in it. You could say both things as true. You could say both things are false. It's all perception and your opinion and your thought, but you'll never know if it is what it is until you're through it and you're
Mm-hmm.
in his shoes. And she doesn't even know part of his shoes because she won't even let him explain anything. She just started just attacking the mom and wouldn't let him talk and kept cutting him off and just kept yelling at the mom and yelling, screaming at her. And you don't know what she was going through, that why she did what she did. And she probably could regret it. And maybe he couldn't have, maybe he shouldn't have stayed with her. Maybe he could have, maybe he should. You never know. And, maybe the daughter would have been more pissed if she had a broken home back then, but she thinks she would be fine with it now. She's in her mindset nowadays, not what her mindset would have been when it happened. Because
Yeah.
how long ago was the
10
affair?
years ago, so when she was 6.
So she was 6 years old. I feel like if you were 6 years old, you would probably be crushed if your parents weren't together. I
Yeah,
don't know if that's
but
true.
then,
Our parents do this. I don't know.
yeah.
I don't want to put words in people's
But
mouth. But
you also gotta think, if your parents split up, you're assuming 50-50 custody and things.
yeah,
Like, you don't know at that time if your mom, if they didn't stay together, what kind of blow up happened if they didn't try to work things out or try to say we're both have fault for different situations and this, that, whatever. What if they did blow up and your mom fought for full custody and you barely talk to your dad? And then
Yeah.
you still end up in the situation where you hate your mom and things
Mhm.
like that. And then also, like, you hate your mom for the situation, like, or how she's been acting. But, I mean, she probably just has some mental health issues she's not dealing with or not following through on to get help, maybe. And maybe then she wouldn't be so erratic and so angry all the time. Because I know when I'm going through my stuff before I get vent some stuff out, I'm I can turn into the rudest person and I'll snap on the smallest things like the creamer and stuff. And then like but for me, I always know, whoa, I got to
Take
step
a step back.
back.
Yeah.
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 I know I need to go talk to somebody because I'm acting crazy.
And maybe she knows that now, but she didn't know that 10 years ago. This was 10 years ago. Your parents were different people than who they are now.
Yeah.
You don't know what kind of person both of your parents were in that time period. And she could have been going through something crazy, like he was saying. She was going to kill herself, this, not, whatever. She could be doing something crazy. And like you're saying, you just, when you're in a bad mindset, you do bad things.
Yeah.
Hurt people. And she could have been hurting, so she was trying to hurt him, or she wasn't even trying to hurt him, but ended up hurting him because she just wants to do certain things and just acting on impulse. And so he forgave her because he knows what's happening internally to her. Obviously, he sounds like he might need some therapy, way he ended it.
Yeah.
So, like,
And then on top of that, like I don't want to be a hater, but
this
who
mother in
does
law?
grandma think she is?
Yeah, what the hell?
It's
This,
been 10 years.
yeah,
They're together. They worked it out, whatever. Why did
yes.
you need to bring it up? Why did you need to tell her?
It's not even anything that you're involved in. It's not your place to tell anybody
Yeah.
anything.
And it's your daughter.
Yeah. No, okay, that's the craziest part. To me, it was what got me inside. I was like,
Yeah, because he said his mother-in-law,
yeah, I
so
started thinking it through after, like, and a little bit in, like, halfway through, I was like, she said mother in law, meaning it's her mom. I was like, damn, that's a terrible mom to be telling your stuff to your daughter like that, to have her turn around on you.
yeah.
Because she said
Because like
she's old enough
because
to make
you're
her own decision.
yeah, but like
She's
you
16.
probably know your daughter and your granddaughter are not having a great relationship right
Yeah.
now. And you're just gonna pile onto that by saying, she had an
Or,
affair, right?
or you think they have a good relationship because you don't know what's happening in anyone's household at any time. And you don't know what's happening in every teenager's mind. Like, things could always be goodish. Or also, she's 16. How many relationships do you go through enough in their time period that were long enough? Because obviously they at least had to be together 6 years because she was 6 years old when this happened. There's no way you were in a relationship from 9 years old. I mean, from 10 years old to 16 to be like, okay, I had a 6 year relationship. I know exactly how long it is and how much effort and time and cost and all this I put into this relationship, then I would fight for it or not fight for it. You can't just say, oh, yeah, 6 years into a relationship, yeah, I would just drop this person. You can't say that because you're 16. There's no way in the world that you have been through a 6 year relationship. Minimum 6 years. I don't know how long they were together before that, but
Yeah.
they at least had a 6 year old daughter. They at least had some kind of interaction for 6 years. Whether they were on or off, they at least had something for 6 years. So there's some history there. There's no way in hell you just drop somebody, especially if you have a kid together. It's kind of harder to drop somebody. As we know, we
Yeah.
were watching the new Woman Wives season. Like, sometimes it's hard to walk away from somebody when you have a kid with them.
Mm-hmm.
It's way tougher. And like you, so you can't judge. You don't have a kid. You're 16. So where this mother-in-law was like, she would understand.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell her now. She don't understand now that she's 16, bro.
Yeah.
When
And
I was 16, you just think you know everything. You just
yeah.
think you're cool and you think you're like, know the world. You don't, bro.
Yeah, that's just
Yeah.
ridiculous.
It's just nonsense.
All right, some top comments. Okay, a few thoughts here. One, mother-in-law is completely in the wrong. It's no one's business to fill the daughter in on the family gossip that includes her parents. Two, I'm sure some of this is normal teenage rebellion crap. However, Your wife got angry about too much creamer in your coffee. You say trivial, but how often does your wife get overly sensitive about trivial shit? There's some point where it becomes you managing wife's emotional outbursts instead of wife working on her own issues. Does daughter have a point at all?
And I guess the question also to that is, what does outburst mean? And yes, how many times, how many this not? There's so many nuances to that, and so many questions to that before you can say like this is good or bad. I mean, if it happened like maybe let's say it happened 3 days ago, so she's thinking about it, but it doesn't really happen that often. But I also get like, yeah, your wife probably should go to therapy if she's like always freaking out about like
Yeah.
the creamer here and there, and maybe you should walk. I don't know, but there is different pieces of this. There's more questions to be asked before just going, that's weird, you know?
Yeah. I mean, all around, the wife should definitely go see a therapist
Yeah,
if she's
especially
had
if
mental health issues in the past
that
already.
and now the fact that she's like, I don't know, hiding out her mother in law and her mom's house now. And like she doesn't want to see anybody and this and that. She's in a dark place. I feel like just no matter what, it's probably just healthy for her to just go and see somebody, talk to somebody about it,
Yeah.
vent it out, and probably not someone in her daily life that has a biased opinion in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. And someone replied, yeah, because that's odd thing to genuinely get angry over. And it makes me wonder why mom and daughter were butting heads to start. Maybe mom's not just abusive to dad. That's true. Because that's what I'm saying though. Like when I'm getting to that point where like I need a mental health check, like I'll start going crazy about things that are probably not great. But then I just step back and I go, whoa, so sorry. I need to go take a mental bath, like check in and like
Mm-hmm.
vent some stuff off or something. I need to work some stuff out. So definitely like, yeah, if it's been going on for a long time where she's been having these crazy outbursts like a lot and like that's what she's doing to the daughter, it definitely could not be like a great thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Especially because like what I want to know what the bad things the dad did that he makes it seem like, yeah, he should have kind of been like it was fine. He got cheated on.
Yeah, because he sounds like he always messes up. That's why I'm like, I don't know, because maybe your dad's not the best person you think
Cause
he
then,
is.
yeah, cause
Like
then he
maybe
could be
he's
like,
not the guy you think. But at the
but
same
it
time,
also
your
could be
mom's
like,
not either.
but it also
Like, I
could
don't
be
know.
like, he's like, I wasn't a great husband either, and it's because like I could never get food right.
Yeah, yeah,
I could never make her happy,
definitely could
or
be
like her whole
manipulation or
last, or
gaslighting.
her like he said like her last mental health situation. Maybe he thinks like that was his fault, and so it was okay that she went and cheated.
Facts. Yeah,
But
because she
that's
could also
not,
gaslight him into thinking that.
yeah,
Or just manipulate him into thinking that and like thinking like, oh, I did this because you didn't do this, this, and this, and you're bad at this and this and that, and making him feel bad about things that actually are not bad things, or like you never know how to make coffee, you never know how to make dinner. She
hmm
could have just like manipulated him and like, so you made me feel bad, and because I have to do this and this, and
yeah.
like you could,
Because to go to the person who like let your secret out to your kid and stuff, and not to the husband who's so forgiving and like keeps taking you back.
yeah.
It does make you kind of wonder.
It also kind of makes me wonder now with these comments. It's also making me think back at some of the stuff. It also makes me think back to the way he did it of like he's not good this and that whatever. It also makes you question if you're always building her up, and it sounds like he keeps checking her mental health, keeping her in line, and helping her out. But the way you finish this feels like he's having a lot of stuff internal. Is she helping him out? You got to pick your partner up on both ends. Like she needs to help pick
I
him
don't think
up.
so.
And it doesn't sound like that actually is
Sounds
happening.
like he's
It sounds
always,
like she's beating him down when he's lifting her up.
yeah, and he's always just playing ref between
Yeah.
these two.
So, I mean, honestly, it's probably why the daughter right, hates her. She might actually have a good reason to hate her. Not just being a teenager, but probably also just being a
Yeah.
teenager. But
Yeah, hopefully the update tells us more.
yeah, fingers crossed. Oh, there's an update. Oh, yeah, it's Bus of Rider updates. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Duh. Thank
But
goodness for that.
there's one more other comment that someone
Yeah,
they
go
put on
for it.
here. Gotta say it, OP, and you probably won't listen based on your comments that I've read. Your wife has issues and you're covering it up, but she's a good person and not answering. People say her behavior is abusive. Okay, so he's definitely said more that shows more
Yeah.
that she's abusive. They just didn't
And like
have it in here.
someone could have good qualities and not be a good person. I feel like he's saying she's a good person because he sees good qualities. But overall, she's probably not a good person, but he's blinded by the good qualities.
Or she was a good person
Yeah.
and he's always just imagining the way she was and
Or,
makes excuses now because he's like because like that like yeah she's a good person but he's not thinking yeah she was a good person
mm-hmm,
before this that whatever that she's done to me and
mm-hmm. Yeah, she's built up this facade. That's kind of like in the show Vanderpump Villa that I just finished watching. And one of the girls, she's ended up with this guy, and he's kind of intense and kind of like narcissistic, and he keeps putting people down. And she's like watching him put these other people down and like say all these crazy things to people and this and that. But she can't process them or notice them as much. And she says in the reunion too, it was like she when he's saying all this other crazy stuff and he yells at her at one point and stuff, she's blocking it out, she says, because she's picturing this facade that he built up of like this great person he is, and she just clicks to, but at the beginning, these 3 months that I knew him before all this started happening, he was so amazing, he was so nice, he was so kind, he was so this, he was so that. And now this is happening, and it's just because he's under stress. It's just because he's going through this, he's going through that. And she kept trying to make excuses for why he's doing this because she's still stuck in this initial picture of who he was, not who he is in the moment.
mm-hmm.
And I feel like that might also be what this kind of like, he's stuck still in who she was and just being like, oh, let me pull out these good qualities that she has right now because that's signs that she still has that person inside her. It's just she's going through all this other turmoil. So obviously all this other bad stuff is happening. And I feel like that's probably what is kind of happening in that
Yeah.
situation. Is what I'm feeling from those comments.
And this comment went on to say, let me tell you a story. I'm a good man and a husband who has plenty of faults, but about 10 years ago, I got into an argument with my wife, and neither of us were listening to each other. We were just feeding each other's anger. That went on until I spun around and smashed my face into a wall. That act of violent release made both of us stop, and I will never forget the look of terror on her face when I turned around to apologize. I didn't have any intention of hitting her. I didn't threaten her. I just needed to let off the built up anger I was feeling in a way I had learned worked for me. Turns out that scaring my wife woke up the emotional issues I was having, and now I'm heavily medicated for bipolar disorder and can have rational discussions and even arguments with her and never feel the need to violently release my emotions. If your wife blew up at you about the amount of creamer in her coffee, she's going to keep verbally and emotionally abusing you, and maybe your daughter too, until she gets to a point where throwing things or hitting something or someone becomes the best way for her to calm down. See how escalates uh See how escalation of release works? First, it's to discuss things to resolve issues, but when that stops working, it became yelling and screaming. The next thing will likely be throwing and or breaking things. But when that stops working, I'll let you fill in the rest. Because honestly, if your daughter's calling you a doormat, didn't shake you loose, I don't know that I can say anything that will help.
In fact, I mean, 16 years he's been in this situation.
Yeah.
And if she cheated on him 10 years ago and he let it go then, I feel like he's already been put in this situation. He's already built into this
Mm-hmm.
way of life. So that's true. No one's going to change it. Unless he might have a waking up. If she is saying or doing something to the daughter, I feel like he needs to talk to the daughter because I feel like if the daughter and him have a logical sit down conversation and the daughter explains what she sees and if anything the mom is saying to her and explains it and lays it out for him, I feel like he might have an awakening and walk away for his kid.
Yeah. Whatever
I
she
don't know if that's
sees.
true, but I feel like he seems like a nice enough guy that I feel like he would stand up for his daughter over his wife.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But you never know. Some of those people get so stuck in that trance, it's kind of hard to break out of.
Yeah, definitely what she sees, but also like what she feels, like if she actually feels like threatened by her mom, not just like we're teenager mom fighting
Yeah,
over like outfits and things like that.
yeah. And I'm hoping, like that guy slamming his head into the wall was his awakening. Hopefully, if he does walk away, hopefully that will be her awakening, the mom's awakening,
Mm-hmm.
to go get help, figure something out, work on herself, be better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just at least for the daughter's sake, you
Yes,
know?
definitely for the daughter's sake. I
All
feel like
right,
it should not be going to that.
update. 1 year later.
Oh wow.
It's been a while. I probably will regret posting this as much as I did the first time, though for different reasons. Before I begin, I want to thank all of you kind people who reached out with genuine advice and with whom I had lovely conversations. I appreciate you more than I can say. Checking my history, I saw that I never updated after the conversation with my daughter about her situation with my wife. We talked about it. We talked and it went worse than I expected, but better than most of the comments. She never hit my daughter or threatened her. My daughter did bring up the yelling and I listened, though she said she was never afraid of her mother, but she started to hate her when she noticed how she treated me, hence the change in her appearance and rebelling. She liked that I stood up for her when it came to her new style because when I was standing up for something, because then I was standing up for something. That makes me laugh a bit now, but at the time, I was confused. We talked a long time, and she said she thought maybe she could get over the resentment she had for her mother if she didn't have to see the way she treats me. I didn't much like that at the time, and I admit I argued that I was an adult and she didn't have to fight for my fights for me. My daughter said something like, "If I don't, who will?" And it just kind of stopped me in my tracks because my only answer, "Sometimes you have to pick your battles," sounds weak when you pick none of them. I still intended to try and work on my marriage despite the comments. I really hoped to turn things around because of the previous relationship, and frankly, how much I still loved my then wife. Oh, then wife. But then she didn't come home for weeks. I don't know if it was my daughter needing I don't know if it was my daughter needling or is this
Mm-hmm.
needling? Probably meddling. Or the fact that I could tell she was upset at being abandoned by her mother at the first sign of trouble. But one day I eventually reached out and asked my ex mother in law when my wife was going to come home and act like an adult. Anne was told she was looking into divorce attorneys and that if I wanted her back, I should really work on getting my daughter to apologize.
Hell no.
It all felt so manipulative, and I just got so angry. I just hung up and spoke to my own lawyer. After being served, she tried to come back and cried that it was her mental health, but I was still so angry. I just shut her down and told her to leave. Divorce was finalized a while ago. My daughter stays with me most of the time since her mother moved out of state afterwards, and she wants to go to college in the area when the time comes, but visits mother in law and speaks to her mother on the phone sometimes. As much as I hate to admit it, their relationship is improving since the divorce. I don't hate my ex wife, even if many, including my daughter, categorize her as abusive. She's the first woman I ever really clicked with in that way. And though I don't love her anymore, probably the last, I don't mind it so much. I have a full life without her around, and a quieter one as well. But anyway, thank you again for listening. And I am bracing for I told you so's. I don't blame you. You did. So it sounds like the daughter really woke him up. And that's what I was kind of hoping, like if they did have a conversation, that
Mm-hmm.
would just get him to like stand up for at least his daughter. Like it's not great if he doesn't stand up for himself, but if his daughter was feeling that uncomfortable and hated her life that so much being there because of it.
Yeah. I mean, it sounded like the daughter luckily wasn't, the mom wasn't mean to her.
Mm-hmm.
She was mad for the dad because he wasn't standing up for himself and he would only stand up for her and her alone. But I'm glad the dad was standing up for her whenever the
Mm-hmm.
mom did come at her, like for her clothes and stuff and living the her life. But I, it's sad that he probably would have gone back if she came back.
Mm-hmm.
But for the fact that they were telling the daughter she had to do it again, it worked out for the best for him because again he stood up for his daughter. He wouldn't stand up for himself, but he had to stand up for his daughter to like let her feel what she was feeling and not make her apologize. So he was like, "Okay, bye. I'll divorce you then,"
Yeah.
which is
Well,
good.
yeah. Yeah, he just let her file for a divorce.
He it sounded like he filed in the end. That's why she
Mm-mm.
was crying to come back.
When
He
he
said
was
when he.
served,
Oh, I thought she
and
said
then
when she was
he came
served.
crying back, and he said,
Did
"No,
it not
we're
say when she
divorced."
was served? Because he went to go talk to his own lawyer. He said,
I
"I
just
went to
hung
go
up
talk
and
to
spoke
my."
to my own lawyer. After being served, she tried to come back. Oh, maybe it
Yeah, sounded like his lawyer served
served her.
her because I think hers was a threat because he
Yeah.
said it felt manipulative and it was. Hers was a threat, and then as soon as he did it, she was crying to want to come back. She was like, "I." She probably didn't think he was actually gonna stand up for himself, which he wasn't. He was standing up for his daughter,
Yeah.
and she was
And
like, "Oh
also,
man,
like, you can't use like mental health as the excuse if
no,
you're not willing to get help.
yes,
You can't be like, I'm so sorry that I left you for almost a month alone with our
yeah,
daughter and threatened divorce and all this stuff. But like, okay,
mm-hmm.
but during that time, while you were gone for a month, did you see a therapist? Did you try to work stuff out with me? Did you ever talk to me? Like, if you met up with a therapist and then got us a therapist to also go see, to like do stuff, I might have been like, okay, yeah, you spent a month away from me and you did threaten divorce, but after that, but in that time as well, you've also been working on it. Then I would say maybe forgive, but
Yeah, or at least we can try to work things out. But yeah, mental health you can't lean on as a crutch. You can't use it for every excuse. You have to still take accountability. You
yeah.
still did it. If I did something in my bad mental health, I would like still apologize because yeah, I still did that. That was
Mhm.
still me. That is still my bad. I still have to take accountability for that because I still did it to you. I
Yeah.
mean, it is what it is.
Whether your intent's there or not, like it's
Yeah,
still something I
intentional
did.
or not, even if you do something, and even if it wasn't even mental health related, no matter what you do, if you do it unintentionally, you should always apologize because you still did it. Like, and
Hmm.
that person does feel hurt. Their feelings are valid, and you should apologize for hurting their feelings, whether you meant it or not. It's still, it's still on you.
Yep.
But, and she didn't do it intentionally. I feel like, she was trying to be as mean as she was
Oh yeah.
intentionally, and she's blaming it on mental health.
All right, top comments. Glad she's your ex. Your wife was abusive. It takes a while to come to terms with it. But your daughter was right, and I hope you're happier now. Leaving abuse is really important for the kids involved.
Mm-hmm.
Another one, she thought your daughter should apologize. You'll be so much better off without her. An original poster replied, I'm fairly certain she wanted my teenage daughter to pretend she didn't even know, which is ridiculous, and regardless of my feelings of the incident, that wasn't going to happen, and I wouldn't have wanted it to. Another person, your daughter saved all three of your lives. Your wife was abusive, your daughter was being abused, and so were you. I'm glad she was an adult enough to finally put an end to all the madness. I really hope your ex-wife gets serious mental help and your daughter doesn't have lasting effects from it. Original poster replied, From what I know, my ex is finding herself. Good for her. I never knew she was lost. My daughter is strong, young woman, stronger than I ever was or ever will be. I am more proud of her than I can possibly explain. Even without the situation, she's the best part of my life. And to quote the old saying, when I count my blessings, I count her twice.
Yeah. I'm glad this guy has his daughter. And she says she's working on herself, but is that true? I don't know.
She's not working herself,
Because she should have been
finding
working.
herself.
Oh, finding herself. I forgot. She's lost. Um, Either way, finding yourself, working yourself, whatever she's trying to do, hope it works for the better for her daughter's sake, but I feel like
Yeah.
she's not doing it probably correctly like she should be. If her mental health really is where she says it is and is really in that headspace, she probably should go get like help, not find herself, but you know. I know
Yeah.
she probably
You can
isn't.
do
If she had
both.
16 years to try to figure that out, or 10, I guess, from the
Yeah.
affair, and she didn't do anything then, I don't see herself trying to fix it now.
Yeah. She should definitely get like actual help,
Yeah, especially because her
but
daughter's talking to her again, so I don't think she's gonna be worried about it
but
too
at least the
much.
distance is actually helping the relationship
Yeah,
because there's
and I
not
think it's helping the daughter more.
coinciding conflict and they honestly probably don't know enough about each other to be criticizing. So,
Mm-hmm. And if she starts talking back, she can hang up. Kind of
yeah.
that way.
So, it sounds like it's slowly working out for the better.
Yeah, thank goodness. All right. So this is from our Coworker Stories, and it's posted by Anna Zarieth. And it says, inappropriate accidental contact with the kitty cat. But she always puts a little kitty cat. So every time I say cats, because he puts a cat emoji.
It was just funny because you got all quiet, kitty cat.
Kitty cat.
Like you were embarrassed to be saying it.
Kitty cat. Nah. It just, I didn't know if I should say cat, kitty cat. I was like, so I felt more of like, I don't know which one to say. But it's okay.
Okay.
Anyways, so we'll just say kitty cat. And then when it comes back up again. So, a coworker was in my office showing me something on my screen. I'm sitting in my chair, my right hand on the mouse as I navigate the screen, my left hand resting on the side of the arm, rested out towards her. She leans in to point at something on the screen and press her cat directly against my hand with her jeans in between, to clarify. I ignored it, but she didn't move away after pointing out this thing on my screen. I don't know if I was feeling the body heat or embarrassment, but my hand got really hot, so I yanked it away, and at which she said, "Oops, sorry." I'm pretty sure it was an accident, but she has been distant with me ever since. Thoughts? I thought it'd be a funny one because, like, I don't know, working in like business and working in
Yeah.
offices and being women ourselves, I want to know your thoughts.
Yeah, it's funny because I just finished taking my
Harassment and
renewals
stuff.
for my
Yeah.
harassment stuff. But it seems like it was probably an accident.
Yeah.
Sounds like she's embarrassed. But yeah, that would make me so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't know what to do. And I would probably, from both perspectives, I'd probably be avoiding the crap out of the other person. And honestly, I'd quit that day and like never come back. I'd quit and
Honestly.
never turn back. And I would mention to HR and I'd be like, the situation accidentally happened. Please do not write me up, but I'm on my way out anyways. Here's my 2 weeks.
I gotta go. Yeah.
And when
I
people were
love
asking where you're going, I don't know. Just the fuck out of here. I'm so embarrassed. Just not here.
I gotta change my move. I gotta change my name. I gotta move states. I gotta go.
Yeah, I no longer exist. I got a new social security. I'm out of here.
Exactly. So funny. Same. Honestly, I'd be so
I'm
embarrassed.
so embarrassed. Oh my gosh.
But someone did say in the comments, if she's distant, it could be just because she's embarrassed. Opie said, makes sense. Hopefully that it's that. And my own weird feelings about her are probably from shaman? I don't know. It's or vicarious embarrassment. Better than her feeling snubbed, which she was, but still a worse feeling. Someone that, to be honest, she probably thought she was leaning on the arm of your chair.
Yeah.
And OP said, well, my hand was completely frozen. No movement. That's reasonable.
Yeah, I would have.
He probably froze up. He said, oh,
Yeah.
because he probably didn't want to make her feel embarrassed. And he probably also didn't want to, like, make it weird or, like, make it
Yeah.
feel like
Because if
harassment.
she's never ever done anything else to
Yeah.
make you think like she's super into you or anything,
Facts.
more than likely, yeah, she probably thought she was just like chilling against
Facts.
something and
And then he probably was like, just keep it frozen because she'll move it when she's done pointing it out. And then she didn't. So he probably was like, I gotta go. I gotta go.
yeah. And that's why she was like, oh, oops. Because she was like, that chair that I was leaning against, not there anymore.
Yeah.
It was him.
And she maybe not even realized then it was his hand, honestly. I'm kind of thinking she might have thought it was his chair, and she probably was like, oops, sorry, like she was invading his space too long, and now she feels awkward about it. That's what I also think too. If it's the like this comment
Well, she
saying that
wouldn't
she
have,
needs the arm of the
she didn't
chair.
notice until he moved.
Yeah, but I'm saying if they were like right that she thought it was arm of his chair, and now there's like no armchair or anything there, she kind of like thought he moved his chair and swiveled it away, maybe.
No. He didn't swivel away. He said he only moved his hand.
Oh, okay, my bad. He didn't say that, but yeah, yes,
He
he
said,
said.
I abruptly moved my hand away.
Yeah, which usually means in a spinning chair you just start rolling. But whatever. Anyways, ignore me then. Okay, anyways, this was that act like it didn't happen. Say nothing and move on. And OP said, absolutely. And I respect her apparent desire for distance, though no contact is impossible. And the person said, didn't say that, just act like it never happened. So they're just saying like you no need to for no contact, just like
Yeah.
ignore it completely. Just pretend like it never was a thing. And they said I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's what I kind of do. Just try to act like it never happened. Unless something else happens or whatever, then yeah, I would just not bring it up.
Yeah.
Let it fade into a
A
funny
distant thought.
memory.
Yeah. A little yeah. Someone said I probably would not address it, as others would have said. But like, do you feel weird about it? I'm sure it was an accident on her part, but that seems a little off. I would feel weird if someone put their junk on my hand. I feel like if anyone is at fault, it's not you.
Yeah.
He said, I feel a bit weird about it. We're both married to different people. I asked my wife if women don't notice when they're pressed their cat against things, and she couldn't comprehend how she even managed to get my hand between her legs without my help.
Oh wait, his hand was in between?
I don't know. That's why I'm questioning my whole life story because I thought it was just like against it.
Yeah, because I was imagining, because yeah, you would feel like even if it's
She
against
leans.
it, I was just imagining like she's like kind of pressed up against his
Yeah.
like hand sitting on the
Like,
desk.
she leans in to point out something on my screen and presses her cat directly against my hand. So against it, you would think just means pressed against it. It's
Yeah,
not
like
in
I
there.
would feel it, but like when the commenter said like I might think it's the chair or something.
Yeah.
But I always feel weird leaning against people's chairs at work when I'm even showing them something, so I would have looked bam. But
Yeah.
so yeah,
Something.
yeah, it seems like the wife might be a misunderstanding.
Yeah, I think the wife's misunderstanding it unless
But
he explained it differently to her. I don't know.
but if your hand's like in between her thighs, report that to HR.
Okay, that is a little bit weirder.
Yeah,
That feels a little more
because yeah, she
intentional.
pretty much straddled your hand if
Unless
they're in
she
between her
fully like
thighs.
took a step forward, maybe, and was like
No.
step one forward. But I don't know if that
I don't
seems
know
weird
how that
too.
would happen.
I
That
don't
no,
either.
no, no,
But
no. So,
anyways,
sir, if that's the thing, report that to
yeah.
HR.
There is that bringing this situation up to your wife seems wild to me. Brave.
I
And
might.
Pete said, absolute trust. I think TikTok would call me a golden retriever gamer husband. And someone said, right, LMAO, this post made me laugh and made me realize I'm kind of psycho because my husband would probably never tell me after flipping out over far less in the past. So funny.
That's so funny.
Yeah, people were dead that he's like telling his wife.
I 100% would have asked my significant other because yeah, he's kind of questioning like, does he need to bring this up to HR? Is this a situation he might need to mention?
Yeah.
So like, I think I might have brought it up to my wife and be like, is this weird? Like, is this something I should be bringing up? Like, do you think someone's gonna say something to HR about me?
Yeah.
Does something need to be said?
I don't know, I'd be like nervous. I wouldn't want to get this person in trouble for something that was an accident.
Yeah.
But I also would be like, I don't know, I'm scared that they might
Especially
get
if it's
me in
making me,
trouble for being an
especially if it's making
accident.
me feel so weird.
Yeah.
I 100% would have brought it up to my other person to be
Yeah,
like,
your partner, yeah.
can you
Same.
help? Can you help
Especially
me?
being a dude, I think I would bring it to my wife just because, like,
Yeah, I need a
you know,
girl's perspective. Can you help me?
yeah.
Yeah, I asked Reddit, but like, can you also help me? Because you're the person I trust most in the world.
Yeah. Facts.
So I don't find it weird. I 100% would. If my husband came to me, I would have been like her. What the heck?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Facts. someone said, I don't know if this is the case, but sometimes when I used to wear tight slash high waisted jeans, I get a little pooch and it would be make my nether regions kind of numb. So I think it's definitely plausible that she didn't feel it, especially if is heavier. Speaking from my own experience and her being distant is probably because she's embarrassed. No need to worry about it or address it unless it happens again. This things happen, and if it was an accident, the best thing is to just move on from it. And the person, OP said, correct on all accounts. And yeah, my plan was just to act normal, though if you've read my responses to other comments, you can see I'm kind of conflicted on my different levels, mostly due to perceived social cues. Thank you for sharing your personal experience. Now, person comment back
That girl's
again.
jeans would twite if it's going numb down there.
That's crazy. I know. That comment took me out. I had to share it with you because being bigger women ourselves, I was like, that is crazy. I've never experienced that. I used to wear tight, high waisted pants all the time, so I'm really confused about this comment.
I've kind of had it happen, but like I was wearing 3 size too small, still trying to fit into them type of jeans.
Yeah.
So those those jeans
But to wear
twite.
that to work is crazy.
Yeah,
There's no way you would wear that type of pants to work, though.
yeah.
But this person said, I'm similar to you in that way, and it doesn't always work out well. But the best rule I found to live by is that we are all adults in an adult world, and as such, if something makes someone uncomfortable, it is up to them to say something because you can't fix a problem until it is addressed.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you can't just truly be aware or unsure. So if they're doing their due diligence in social relationships, be it at work or friendship slash romance, then they should tell you that there's an issue. And if they're unable to do that, then that's something they have to work on. And there's not much anyone can do about it. But your desire to understand and create a comfortable environment for your coworker where everyone can just get along as needed says a lot about your social awareness and your openness to change. That is very respectable quality, and I'm sure they will come to see it. OP's a good role. I hope that everyone would be upfront and honest about their intentions. That won't be they won't be I remain but they won't, but I remain optimistic. And to quote the doctor, a good man needs no rules. I live by too many rules, not so much social awareness, but I thank you nonetheless. But yeah, so overall, that person was crazy with their pants, but they're totally right. It is on them. They should say something if it made them uncomfortable.
Yeah. I mean,
If he
you
made
can
him enough
too.
uncomfortable, I would say if it made, and I think he should live by the rule too. If it made him uncomfortable enough, I would maybe talk to his coworker and be like,
Yeah.
"Hey, I just wanted to make sure you're okay. I didn't mean to make it weird, and I knew you probably weren't trying to
Yeah.
intentionally make it weird. I don't know if you feel uncomfortable enough yourself." And you want to bring it up and you squash it if you feel like maybe they're going to say something to HR or something. Even if they say something to HR, I think you're in the clear no matter what because like you were just sitting there. But if you feel like you need to squash something or you feel uncomfortable and you need to air out the grievances, I feel more than welcome that you should say something like that's person's role. That's true. Both sides, if anyone's uncomfortable on both sides, you should be able to voice it and say something for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
So
All right. This one is from AITAH. Am I the a-hole for laughing in my ex's face and telling her that she can't expect people to respect her relationship when she can't even respect theirs? So me, 40 male, ex, 39 female, cheated on me when our daughter Annie was 6. We have been co-parenting for about 10 years now, and our daughter is now 16 years old and has been in a relationship with her boyfriend Lewis, 16 male, for 3 years now. If I have to describe Lewis, he's an amazing guy and treats her like a princess. His parents were teens when they had him and his twin sister. Their stepdad has been raising them since they were 8, and they now have younger siblings as well. Recently, his mother has found out that his stepdad cheated on her with my ex. My ex wants to continue the relationship with him. She says in order for that to happen, Annie has to end her relationship with Lewis. My ex doesn't allow Lewis into her home anymore and apparently even told his mother that she needs to force him to end his relationship with Annie. But his mother flipped her off, saying, I don't care about you or him. The mother's soon-to-be ex-husband, I'm not gonna ruin my son's 3-year relationship for two people who can't even keep a relationship. My ex has come to me saying that people need to respect her in a relationship, and I laughed in her face and said that she can't expect people to respect her relationship when she isn't even respecting theirs. Now her relatives are calling me asshole, saying that my daughter is young and will get more guys eventually, that it is not the end of the world if her and Lewis break up. So am I the a-hole?
Heck no. First off, the way this lady was with this guy. Well, first off, it threw me at first because you were saying the daughter was 6 when they cheated, and it was 10 years later after that, and they're 16. Reminded me so much of your last story.
Oh, yeah.
Threw me for a second. But anyways, past that. But no, that's crazy as hell to like be like, they didn't respect my relationship when she was in a relationship. She didn't respect her own relationship and cheated on him. And then he's married to his wife. She didn't respect their relationship and had an affair. And he didn't respect that relationship. Why would the daughter respect her relationship? This lady has no respect for anybody and anybody's feelings. Why would her daughter respect her own feelings? And also, your daughter's in an honest relationship. You're in a relationship that started from an affair. And you cheated on your ex here that had a daughter with you. What's saying that you wouldn't cheat on this guy later? And he's a cheater now too. So he cheated on his wife. You cheated on this guy at one point. What's to say y'all won't cheat on each other later on in life and your relationship won't work out? So just let your daughter date this guy. And you can date him and see how long this relationship lasts.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I don't know if it's going to last long.
Mm-mm.
You're building it on lies. Like, you're building it on an affair. I don't think it's going to last that long.
Yeah.
And if it does, cool, good for you. If their relations last, cool, good for them. Honestly, whatever. It's fine either way. But, like, you can't just tell them that your daughter, she has to break up with her boyfriend because you decided to sleep with his stepdad and you decided to be in a relationship with him. No, thank you.
Yeah.
If I was your daughter, I'd be like, hell no. You can go shove it, bro. No thanks. Hard pass.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, you're nuts.
Yeah. You lose them how you get them usually.
Exactly. Nah, G, ain't it? Won't be me.
Top comment, not the asshole. Pretty cut and dry. She is trying to sabotage her daughter's relationship so she can further her own already dysfunctional relationship.
Facts.
Another top comment, I don't know, but I can't understand how the daughter can even consider a relationship with a woman, the mother, who not only destroyed her own family by cheating on her father, but now also destroyed the relationship with the family of her now boyfriend of 3 years. What a mother of the year. If this woman was my mother after all this, I would have cut her off forever. I don't need this kind of cheating. Blank as a mother. I just hope this poor girl does not have any of the horrible traces of genetics of her own mother.
Yeah, bro. And right now, it sounds like she doesn't because she seems like she's sticking up to her mom. She's being nice to this guy. It seems like they have a good relationship with the dad. So fingers crossed it stays that way because, god dang, dude, she's crazy.
Honestly.
All right, so my next one is from Our Revenge Stories, and it's posted by very cute Ajabahar Chut. Hard name to mispronounce. My neighbor blocked my driveway one too many times, so I had his car towed away during his Tinder date. For context, my neighbor is the type of guy who thinks rules are for other people. An arrogant 6 foot something hunk in his 20s. He constantly parks in front of my driveway, fully blocking it, despite multiple warnings, notes, and in person, hey man, seriously? Stop. Conversations. His excuse? I'm just here for a bit. A bit apparently means an eternity. 3 to 5 hours every damn time. Last week, I came home and surprise, he's there again, blocking my driveway with his crusty silver sedan. I see him through his window, getting ready, cologne and everything. He's going out. I decided tonight's the night. So I do what I should have done weeks ago. I call a tow truck. No warning or notes. Got it towed straight up. About 45 minutes later, I'm sitting on my porch drinking a beer when a random girl walks up the sidewalk. Clearly dressed for a date, she knocks on his door. He comes out smiling. Then he sees his car is gone. She's confused. He's flipping out. He starts looking around like someone robbed him. I can actually say, if you're looking for your car, it got towed away. You are blocking my driveway again. He tries to argue, but the girl just says, wait, you parked in front of his driveway? He tries to explain, but she just says, wow, that's trash, and walks off. I haven't seen him blocking my driveway since, and he never called another girl home after that. His confidence took major hit.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Embarrassing.
Exactly, dude. And the top comment is, he blocked you blocked him. Fair is fair. And someone said, car blocked equals cock blocked.
Exactly. That's so true.
Someone said, elementary mathematics tells me that car equals no cock, equals cock. What? Oh, got it. Because the person put car minus blocked equals cock plus blocked. And so you take blocked and blocked, because one's a negative, one's a block, equals car equals block. Got it. I was like, what the heck does that even mean? Got it. Got it.
She mathing.
Yeah, dude.
This one's falling asleep while sitting up.
You're so cute.
So funny. Yeah, I 100% would have called out on him. Like, you can't sit in front of my driveway for hours.
Yeah. Especially saying, I'm only here for a bit. You're such a liar, bro. What the hell?
Yeah. Find another spot
Yeah.
on the street.
I would have done it to him at least once before getting it towed. But that's just me, because I'd be petty about it first.
Yeah.
Then actually get revenge. But I don't know. I guess I might just be, well, I don't know. Because my car's little, so I don't know if it'd really affect much of anything. So. LOL, you saved her so much time realizing he's a piece of garbage. And OP said she saved herself. I mean, you pointed it out, but then, yeah, she walked away and saved herself.
Yeah.
So it's a double win. You gave her the signs, she took them.
Yeah. I'm not seen with a trashy jerk. What the
Yeah, someone commented. And then the neighbors started coming out one by one, at first shocked, then grinning. Then suddenly one person started clapping. It blew up. Everyone erupts in cheers. The clapping became deafening. And news crew rolled up by. And after an interview, the anchorman said, I had set an example for the nation. The tow truck driver came back after putting a lien on the neighbor's car, working at some magic so the DMV reissued the title in my name. Then his date asked me to marry her. The crowd went door to door insisting I take over as mayor, and now there's a popular movement to make my birthday into a national holiday. People take it to another level on Reddit, and I love it.
Oh, this is dramatic, girl.
But
I like the imagination.
I love the imagination.
Dramatic.
I think it needs to be an episode of a show. I'm not mad about it, but like, it was a lot for a comment. But I had to share it because that was a good one, and it was over the edge, and I liked it. You know us, we like to up the ante always, so I felt like it was a fun comment for us.
Alright, this one's from Petty Revenge. She erased us from her wedding, so I'm erasing her from mine. When my brother got married, his bride, now my sister-in-law, had very specific expectations. She wanted everyone in the family to wear to their wedding. She wanted everyone in their family to wear their wedding colors, and we all did. People flew in from out of state. Everyone made an effort to make her feel celebrated. The day before the wedding, she made some offhanded but certainly pointed remarks about how our side of the family never takes anything serious, and she wasn't expecting us to take this serious either. The comments made their rounds, and feelings were hurt before the wedding even began. But we still showed up, looked great, and participated. Fast forward to getting the wedding photos and videos, not a single photo of our side of the family was posted. Not one. In the entire 3-minute highlight reel, no faces from our family except a 3-second clip of my parents with the bride and groom. The rest of us? It's like we were never existed. I texted her cordially and asked if she could send me the pictures with just our siblings since none of us have posted. She responded that we never took those pictures. That's wild because I remember helping people adjust corsages for them. She doubled down on the gaslighting. I gave it 6 months, asked again. She suddenly had no idea what I was talking about. Fine. Here's where the petty revenge comes in. I'm getting married in 8 days. I've been engaged for 6 months and planning this moment since she tried to erase us. I hired a great photographer and videographer. What she doesn't know is that the videographer has a secret mission, making it look like she's getting all the attention. Track her, hover near her, like she's the star of the show. She'll feel so seen. And then final cut, she won't appear for even 1 second. Just like she made sure we didn't. I didn't even invite her originally. Word must have gotten out because she cornered me at a family dinner and said, "Unfortunately, I have to work the day before and after your wedding, but I should still be able to make it." I was so stunned and just said, "That's fine. The Airbnb is booked whether you're there or not." So now she's coming. Ugh. To cope, I spelled her name wrong on the wedding invite on purpose. That was my first move. The video blackout will be my last. Not asking for advice, not asking is too mean. It's not. It's exactly fair. Happy to talk about it freely.
I love it. It's like a low-key version of an eye for an eye.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not wrong. Like, that's crazy. Take out someone's whole entire family.
Entire family.
Also, why do you reach out to your sister-in-law for these pictures? If she said no to you the first time and is like pretending like they don't happen, why didn't you ask your brother? I'm so confused. Why aren't you asking your brother? Can you get these photos for us?
I'm confused too why the brother wouldn't have given her photos.
Yeah, and be like, hey, can you send us this photo of all of our family that we took together from your wedding? Your wife seemed like she couldn't find it.
Yeah.
Can you find one of all of us together? Because I know we took it. And he would know too because he would have been in it.
Yeah, and like the parents didn't ask for pictures.
Yeah.
His parents, I mean.
Well,
I know.
She might have been asking for everybody technically because they probably
That's
said,
true. I guess
you
you have to
asked,
give an ask
and
for everyone.
then you can send them to everybody because that's kind of our mom's side of the family. Like one person will ask something and then send it to everybody in the group.
Yeah.
Just so like everyone's not bombarding that same person for the pictures. So just one does it and then the other one, person sends them all. So I get not everybody else in the family asking, but like to not ask your brother next is kind of crazy. To be like, hey, she seemed like she couldn't find this photo. You know that photo we took together as siblings, and we like fixed people's corsages and we did this and that, and like we took this picture. Can you send that to me?
Yeah.
And then he can go find it, or he can be like, damn, my wife's kind of terrible for like taking my entire family out of every picture. Because he probably doesn't care to look at the posts and stuff. Because like some people just don't, and especially like I feel like I don't know, he might not be a social media person and stuff or a picture person based on her not asking him in the first place. Yeah. He must not be that big into the pictures to be like, oh, they're not in now anymore. So it'd probably be good to like ask him because maybe he can also just acknowledge that. But point is, hilarious revenge. I hope with all my heart she's so like I want to see her face. I hope they kind of record her for some of this. I want to see how excited she is that this is being taken of her. How excited she is to be the main character of this wedding.
It's crazy.
I want to see how excited she is, and I want
know.
to see her face when she gets the news
For
that
she's not be in everything.
and they got nothing of her.
Yeah, I am
And I
So
love that they
ready.
weren't even going to invite her because of this. And they were like, damn, she just assumed she was invited because she's married to my brother. So I guess she's in now. And so to see Penny and be like, your Airbnb's booked no matter what. Oh my god, I love it. I love the pettiness. I love the drama of this. It's great. It's so low key, and it's you're giving back what she gave to you. It's treat how you're gonna want them to be treated, and I love it. It's not mean. I think it's funny as hell. It's giving back what she gave to you. See what I mean? And it's just even crazier because she married into this family to do that to somebody, so they're just giving it back. Oh my god, that's hilarious. It made me cry a little bit. It was so funny. How?
Pretty much all the top comments were update me, update me. Actually,
Yes.
I was just scrolling for a hot minute, but it's just all
Hoping for an
update
update.
me,
Yeah.
update me.
Damn, I was hoping for an update. That's so bad.
Well, this post was from 14 days ago.
Yeah. Did she say when she was getting married? I can't remember now.
Wait, what?
Did she mention when she was getting married?
Well, I'm reading stuff of hers right now,
Uh-huh.
and it looks like she might have been married.
Oh, okay.
Because still waiting for the final cut from the videographer. Sister-in-law is not in any of the sneak peeks.
I love it. Has she said? I just want to know if she said anything yet. That's like my main question. I just want to know. Has she said anything like, "Hey, let me see that video"? She feels like she's the main character. We'll have to keep an eye on that one because
Yeah, and and she said 4 days ago. Because that was 1 day ago that she said that one that I said.
gotcha.
4 days ago, she said at the bottom of the original post, when we get the final video back and posted, I'll have a better one. So
Right on.
it looks like, yeah. Because 4 hours ago, it says waiting for the final video still. Devil face emoji.
I'm so happy. I'm so excited.
So
So ready.
we should be getting an update for that one.
Yeah.
To see the sister-in-law's reaction
I'm so excited. That's so funny.
to not showing up in a single thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, to cuddle.
After thinking you're a main character.
Yeah, because she gives main character energy.
Yeah, she is. She's
Like,
like, y'all never take anything serious.
yeah.
That's crazy to think you never take anything serious to cut them out completely. Like, okay, whatever. You
A
don't
whole
put them,
family.
so not put them in the video because they'd just be acting wild, I guess, is one thing. But photos. You can't be hearing crazy stuff. You can't be seeing crazy stuff. And when they're posed together, sent online, and they actually dress the way you're supposed to be dressed.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And to lose a whole family.
Yeah.
Like, no one else is going to be like, wow, none of his family showed up?
Yeah. To no one call him out is crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, for my next one is from our entitled people, and it's by Best Crisp Air. Oh, my rich friends, we can't be friends anymore. So tonight, an acquaintance I haven't spoken to in the last 5 years calls me. We'll call him Marcus. Marcus did make a little chit chat, then asked me what I'm doing for work. I say, I'm between full-time stuff right now, but looking. They agree that the job market is hard and how they're divesting themselves of a business that they've had for decades, as the suckers aren't buying anything anymore. I give a little laugh because that's a weird way to refer to clients, but maybe Marcus is a little down. They did mention about their home in New England and about their home in the West Coast in a high, desirable area on the beach. That they want to split their entire summer between the two locations because it's so hot in the South in the summer. I say something along the lines of, that's a heck of a problem to have. And we laugh again. That's when they drop their entitled request on me. They want someone to take care of their extremely obese, nearly bedbound elderly aunt that lives with them 7 days a week, no days off, for 3 months. The best part? This home is not air conditioned. They want to offer a fellow human $200 per week since it's light duty. But they say I'd have my own room. And they, in quotes, they put, I have my own home, so that's isn't of interest to me. I had explained that I was going to have to pass on this amazing offer. And Marcus got really insulted and he whined and said they didn't know anyone as nice as me. And since I was a flight attendant before, this I know the first aid and serving food stuff. Again, I declined. He was confused. I said, would you work for $200 a week? Because I won't. He said he would call in. He said he would call in a week to see if I changed my mind. Blocked him as soon as the call ended.
Yeah, I would too. I would too. Oh my God. $200 a week is crazy.
Yeah.
Whether it was this much work or not.
Yeah.
If it was someone super easy,
yeah,
$200 a week is still crazy. When first when he said $200, I was like, a day. I might take up the offer. It's not enticing or anything, but and then $200 a week, no.
Yeah.
Try hiring a nurse.
Well, because you're
won't get
on
up
call
for less.
24/7. Because this person's like
no days off.
No days off.
Is not
3 months straight.
No.
You're probably working 24 hours a day because this person's practically bedridden. It says almost nearly bedridden. So meaning they probably get up a little bit here and there. But
Just
you're
use the
pretty
bathroom,
much taking
probably.
care of them and bringing them drinks and stuff. So they're probably gonna need you 24/7. You can probably go to sleep, but they might have to call you or like ring a bell or whatever they need to get you to come back over and to come help them out in the middle of the night. So technically, you're never off call. You have no days off, and you're doing this for 3 months straight. That's crazy as hell.
Crazy.
Like $200 a week. That's nuts. Because you take $200 and you divide it by 24 hours, you're barely getting paid anything. That's whack as hell.
Yeah. Yeah, that is so crazy.
Yeah. And to call it light work is insane.
To call it light work is insane. Because mostly bedridden means they probably just get up to use the bathroom by themselves.
Yeah.
On top of that, the way he's like, you're the nicest person I know, as if like to be saying she needs to do this because she's nice. No, you only asked her because she's this nice.
Yeah.
And you just assumed she wouldn't have said no.
Fox.
She's not gonna like come live in some stranger's house in a room, not even a house. She lives by herself.
Yeah.
Like no, that already like doesn't even entice me right there.
Yeah.
And then to be paid so little for so much work, and also even if I wasn't getting paid so little, 3 months, not a single time off.
Yeah, dude.
I'm literally taking care of this person 24/7. Living in this place, always taking care of them. They're super bedridden. Like, no.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
Also, like, to start off with, like, kind of like bragging about yourself, like, oh, I got 2 homes, this and that. And then you're going to offer
split my
$200.
time. Yeah, I'm going to split my time between my 2 homes. You better be paying me in a home.
Yeah.
For this amount of work.
Exactly. Something more than $200. Way more than $200 a week.
Go to a nursing service. You're going to be paying a buttload for that amount of work.
Facts.
Have fun.
You're crazy, bro. This person commented, acquaintance popping up after half a decade to ask you to care for their relative on the cheap because they can't be asked. I think they meant asked. They wrote that weird. Can't be asked to love their own family. Delightful. To him, you were likely the last contact on his dwindling list. Not the nicest person he knows. Everyone else already dipped. If he really valued you, you would have kept in touch. And he definitely would have insulted you with such a low pay offer. Good for you for blocking. Like, facts. And maybe she is the nicest person he knows, but if he acts like this on the daily and like naturally he's kind of like bragging all the time and doing this and that, like kind of acting this way and like just kind of knowing he kind of seems kind of rude just based on the way he calls his clients the suckers that aren't buying anything anymore. It's crazy. He probably doesn't know that people because a lot of people probably walked out of his life.
Oh,
I feel like
yeah.
he'd be annoying as hell as a friend. And I feel
So
like
annoying.
he would be the worst. I feel like most people probably dropped him, which is probably why he's calling acquaintances you haven't talked to in 5 years and saying you're the nicest person he knows. Yeah, you probably are. Because you're the only person.
I'm probably the only person you know at this point.
You're probably the only person that still like would even talk to him or answer his call at this point.
And only because you haven't seen him in 10 years.
5, but yeah.
Oh, 5.
They said half a decade. I think that's where you got confused because they said
I heard
decade
decade.
earlier.
Yeah.
They were saying half a decade. Yeah. But yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So crazy. Someone said, I once had a close friend of 4 years call me, crying, asking to talk. I told him to come over, and of course, I'm here for him. He couldn't even muster it within himself, to tell me what was going on. So I had to guess that his girlfriend broke up with him, and he cried and nodded. I said he could live with me for a month until he found somewhere else to live. He thanked me. The next day, he said, so I can live with you for $300 a month for a year, right? I told him absolutely not and stopped being his friend. After that relationship ended, he became insufferable, and it was always his way or the highway. Good riddance. Exactly. Some people just be taking advantage of people.
Audacity.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be like, yeah, you just like live here for a year for $300.
Yeah.
No, I said 3 weeks.
Exactly, bro.
Yo.
Don't be playing me, man.
Yeah, don't be gaslighting me to miscommunication.
Exactly.
No. I know what I said, because ain't nobody living me for a year. I live on my own.
Exactly, bro. I'm not having you live with me.
Yeah, after living on your own, like, I can't. No.
Yeah. Heck nah. So there's a bedbound. They need a pro care. Someone coming back. I'm guessing they were either trying to underpay the carer or they were banned from care agencies for bad behavior. Maybe a little bit of both. And OPU said, I'm sure you're correct. And another person commented, I'd be tempted to report them under suspicion of elder abuse. I wonder how much of this starting capital was hers. Sounds like that sort of person. And the air conditioning, who the heck is this a-hole with 2 houses that is leaving someone they care without professional help and air conditioning?
Yeah.
Are they hoping she'll die under someone else's watch? And another person commented, yes. And another person said, and morbidly obese. That is eye-opening. That even with air conditioning, you need 2 people. That person is out of his mind. Who would say yes to this? Elder care abuse is what I was reading as already happening. The poor aunt and her stingy nephew Marcus. Why would anyone agree to this? It's not your family. And Opie said exactly. But yeah, it's crazy as heck. And it is weird. And I didn't even think through that like it could have been her starting money and stuff. But like that is insane to think.
Insane.
But yeah, I'm not finding the comments I was reading.
Definitely probably want to report them, though. People are right.
Wait, what?
Definitely probably want to report them. People are probably right on that.
Oh yeah, I definitely probably bring it to the legal attention just because
Because it is feeling weird.
It is feeling off. Than the nurse and stuff, but I don't know. But I'm not finding the comments I was reading earlier when I first found this post. But when I did, there was a decent amount of people commenting like he's probably bragging about these houses and stuff because he is in a ton of debt and now he's trying to play you because he probably can't pay any other caregivers. And I was like, that is a good thought too. Of like maybe he doesn't really have the money, so he's trying to cheap you out and trying to get someone random to do it. And because he can't afford it anymore because he put all his debt. He has so much debt, and that's why he has 2 houses in the side. Because there's a lot of people that like show off and live above their means and do things like this, and then now they have no money to like pay for things that actually need it, like
True.
caregiving and stuff. So I knew that was something that people were saying earlier, and I don't know if I'm just like overlooking it or what, but I'm not finding the comments now where I was looking at earlier. So
Yeah.
okay, but yeah, it's just crazy to think like he was trying to get you to do this for so little. And I would question his motives or question what's happening behind this.
100%. All right, so this one is an Ask Reddit.
Ooh, cool.
People who left their partner the day of the wedding. What happened?
Ooh, that's a good question.
The top one with 6,000 votes.
Ja Wowie Jamawi and Malawi.
My brother went to his engagement party. Everything was great. Nothing but. Oops. My brother went to his engagement party. Everything was great. Nothing out of the ordinary. Wedding comes around. 3 months later, he shows up, and it's totally different bride. Same groom, same date, same invite, just new bride. No explanation.
What? Like that's it? They still don't know?
Nope. I guess he didn't ask his brother.
Oh my god, I have so many questions.
I have so many questions too. Let me see if he said anything.
I'm stunned.
Yeah, it doesn't.
That's crazy. That's a crazy one. That's a good one, but that's crazy as hell.
Someone commented to that one though and said, "I had this nightmare before my wedding. My husband still teases me about it, but I can't wait to tell him it really happened to somebody."
Honestly. Now I can't think you're crazy because it do be happening. That's hilarious. Now it can be a logical fear instead of a fake fear. Jesus.
Someone said, reminds me of a story I read in Ask Reddit, wedding thread a long time ago, about how a few months before the wedding, the groom's best man switched places, and everyone was cool with it, I guess. Hmm.
That's crazy.
Kind of crazy.
What the hell? That's so stunning, man. What the heck, my dude? I mean, good thing I don't really want to get married because, man, I would be scared of this happening. Can you imagine?
Just a different bride?
Yeah, bro. Or you, like, go to the altar and then they switch out your groom
Yeah.
with his best man. Both of them would just be nuts. I'd just be stunned in both directions.
Someone replied to that saying, thruple?
Honestly, maybe.
And another person, skinwalker?
Maybe. Or the Matrix glitched and you happen to be in a different universe. Like, what? I'm so
All right.
stunned.
Another one, 3,000 upvotes to this comment. Obligatory, not me, but bride's best friend decided the wedding was the perfect time to announce the bride was secretly pregnant. Problem is, groom was religious and saving himself for marriage, and bride agreed to it. They hadn't had sex before. Turns out she had been cheating on him for most of the relationship because of this. I believe she planned on waiting until they had sex to tell him that the child that was his turned into a very interesting situation where groom's parents were very upset, thinking he broke his promise of abstinence to them. Bride's parents were celebrating the pregnancy. Bride and groom both had looks of absolute horror.
She did it before the wedding? Is that what it said?
She was pregnant. She was pregnant.
No, the friend. When she announced it before the wedding?
Decide on the wedding day.
Oh, yeah.
Was the perfect time to.
I mean, at least it's before. It's like enough time to either get it annulled or not. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
I don't know.
before he gets
I don't know
married
if they
and
were.
he's like in charge of this kid now.
Yeah, I don't know if they got married. I bet it's at the.
Yeah, but
reception.
either way,
Yeah, you can
wedding
get
day,
an
you can
annulment.
get an annulment. So either way, thank goodness for this guy. Bad timing, because you should have said this way before this wedding even happened. It would be wedding day. But I guess because it's her friend, she's probably like trying to hold it in, trying to hold it in, trying to hold it in. Okay, and I feel too guilty. He's about to go through with this. He just needs to know, or he went through with this. He needs to know, and then you get annulled.
No. Friend thought she was telling happy news. Friend thought she was like, what a great time to announce this. The wedding. They're having a kid.
I thought she was
They're now married. They're having a kid. And that's why his family thought you broke your promise of abstinence. that you
Oh
took.
God, it's even worse.
And the
I
parents
thought she
and
was trying
her
to save
no
them
and
because
her
she knew she was
parents
cheating.
no and her parents were like, yes, we're having a kid. No, everyone's happy.
Oh,
She's thinking
okay.
she's
I knew the
delivering.
parents, everybody were happy, but I
No,
thought
no,
the
no,
best friend was trying to call her out, and everyone
no,
misunderstood
no.
it.
She was like,
Oh
perfect
my
time to finally
God.
announce the bride has been pregnant this whole time.
Oh my God. So he probably went through the marriage. It was probably in her thing, her speech or something. Be like, so happy for them. They're having a kid. They got married. Blah blah.
I'm so happy. I'm so excited. I can't. Or maybe she's drunk and she's like, I'm so excited. I can't wait to announce that they're having also a kid. Such a great day. Such a great day. Because everyone in there, like, they started celebrating. They're like, I can't believe you had sex before marriage. This, that, whatever. And the groom and the bride are like,
I can't
because they both know we've never had sex.
Yeah.
Now he's
And
gonna
she
leave me.
knows
Now
she
he
was
knows I'm
gonna pull
cheating.
one over on him.
Yeah.
And now she can't.
Now he knows I'm cheating.
That's crazy. Stunned. Taken back, dude. OMG.
All right, another one. 11,000 votes.
Oh, wowie.
Oh, I guess I should have said a comment to that one or so.
Yeah, you can read one. Yeah.
That friend saved him from a lifetime of lies.
Yeah.
And that person, seriously, I can't imagine doing that to somebody. Good on that friend.
Yeah. Sounds like she didn't do it on purpose, then, I guess. But
yeah, I can't tell. I can't tell. It sounded like she didn't, but.
Yeah. Either way, on purpose or not, thanks
Yeah,
for saving him.
he's luckily out.
Yeah.
Like this person said, my friend did this 20 some years ago. She was engaged to a guy from a very well off family. The wedding was in California, but they were living in Seattle. Very posh, very expensive, but the mother in law was always a bitch to her. Right at the beginning of the reception, mother in law came up and said some nasty things to her in a whisper, thinking she would just take it and take it again. She lost it. Families got involved, and she ended up on a plane back to PNW that night. Her family had already started moving her things out of the apartment that evening. Never spoke again.
Dang, dude.
Someone commented, good for her.
Yeah, dude.
Another one, you
I
know
want to
that,
know if the son still talks to the mom.
right? Another person said, you know that was very hard to do, and she might even question it sometimes. So yeah, definitely good for her. That can't be easy.
Facts. Facts. I wonder if he's like, damn, my mom just messed up the love of my life.
Yeah. All right, another one with almost 4,000 up votes. My wife's family has a story from the early 1900s in which the bride and groom had courted, mostly by mail. The day of the wedding, bride got cold feet. The family was trying to figure out what to do when the bride's sister piped up and said, I'll marry him. The groom thought about it for a few minutes and decided he was in. The wedding proceeded as if nothing happened. Nothing had happened, and they allegedly were married for 50 plus years and produced a big happy family.
That's crazy.
Just a nice little bride swap again.
Yeah. These ones are crazy. The bright swap ones are crazy. Or groom swaps. This, like, the swapping out of one of the people is wild to me.
Someone commented, sister appearing out of nowhere. All right, who do I gotta marry?
Yeah, dude. Jesus. That's insane.
It's so crazy.
I love it.
Someone commented, plot twist. She was the one who wrote the letters for the sister.
It's like in Bob's Burgers when Tina's like writing the text for Tammy. Oh my god, it's good. For Tammy. And it's pretty much like that. What if she's writing all the letters for her? And then when she got there, she's like, oh, geez.
For the beefo.
Yeah.
All right, this is another one with 4,000 upvotes. I don't know if this counts, but 6 years ago in March, my fiance and I decided to postpone our wedding. The weekend. Wow. I don't. Whoa!
Good morning. Ooh, you okay?
Breathe. You're okay.
It's all right. There you go. Ooh, good morning. Okay.
All right. Okay, here's another one with 4,000 upvotes. I don't know if this counts, but 6 years ago in March, my fiance and I decided to postpone our wedding. The weekend the wedding would have been, he left me home alone to go spend the weekend with his parents. We lived an hour away from his parents, didn't have cell service or Wi Fi, no landline. His parents posted all over Facebook that they were celebrating him not getting married to me and were celebrating his new girlfriend, a friend of ours he constantly told me not to worry about. My mom my mom screenshot all the Facebook posts, drove an hour out of drove an hour out to where I was and said, "Hey sister, what are we going to do here?" I took a hot shower and cried, and then we packed all of my stuff up and left a letter for him on the dining room table with the ring. Later, he texted me saying, "Is this what you really want?" I replied saying, "Nope, but it's what I need." I would have drove to his parents' house and be like, "Just so you know, this day was only postponed. So just so you know, he's a liar, and if you guys were actually dating, he's a cheat. Peace out. I'm out."
Yeah, bro.
I wouldn't have left him a freaking letter. I would have showed up and burned the place to the ground.
Yeah. What the heck? I would have done more too for sure, but that's crazy as heck.
Someone replied, "The absolute audacity to text you that in an attempt to make you question yourself and your decision to leave him after having a whole ass celebration for his new girlfriend and making you find out via his parents' Facebook post? Olympic levels assholery."
Yeah, dude. Even if, even if he wasn't dating somebody else, I would still have to leave if his parents are throwing a congratulations party for not marrying me. That's like those people that dress in all black to people's wedding because they're so
Yeah.
sad that they're marrying a certain person. No, no, I can't be in the family that the person does when the whole family does not want me. That's a no,
Yeah,
dog.
dude. Oh my
So
gosh.
crazy though. That's so funny.
OP, or not OP, but the person who made this comment replied, "He also asked me if I wanted to keep the house. I said, hell no. Have fun being alone out there. You deserve it."
Facts.
Hell's yeah. I'm not gonna live
Facts.
out there, way out there. I did that for you because I loved
Yeah.
you. Ugh.
Especially why would I want this house to remind me of memories of you when you were like you did that
Yeah.
and like I wouldn't remember the ending of that because that's like such a bad ending to our relationship. No, thank you. Jesus.
Here's one with 12.5K votes. A colleague of my husband's texted him about a week before the wedding saying something cryptic like, "If I'm in Key West on Friday, the wedding isn't happening." So he was clearly having thoughts prior to. Oh, yes, it must have been his colleague's wedding. I was confused for a second, but I don't know why. But social media showed that the rehearsal dinner happened the night before the wedding, and he was there, so figured he had gotten over it. We had family in town and weren't planning to attend the wedding anyway, but my husband texted congratulatory message later on that day. Guy replied from Key West. He did not show up to the ceremony. His excuse was she wouldn't sign the prenup. The reality was that he already was seeing someone else.
That's crazy. I get not doing it for the prenup, but to use that as an excuse because you're seeing someone else
Crazy.
is nuts.
And to show up to your rehearsal dinner and
Yeah,
the next day,
you're
next
in
day
Key
you're
West.
all of a sudden in Key
That's insane.
West.
Oh my gosh.
Dude.
I can't, bro. I can't. That's too funny.
And then someone commented to that. Love that he tried to use a reasonable excuse, but it was false.
Yeah.
Knew a girl who told us she was having second thoughts because of lack of passion. She called it off. I was actually super proud because she was brave enough to do it before and not fake it. Very real of her. Turned out she had been cheating on him for a while with multiple people and cheated on her next to partner too. Classy. Oof.
To be like, you're so brave for telling me. My God.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So crazy. Hilarious.
That it was certainly true for my ex-husband's parents. His dad cheated on his mom, but presented as I fell in love with mom, only for the kids to find out the truth months later. Rocked my ex's world. He was 20. I remember my mom saying, "Careful there, it can run in the family." While I don't think that it's always true, it turned out to be when the same scenario happened to me 12 years later after we were married. Lack of passion, my ass. It's lack of morals, to be honest. A lack of ability at the time to acknowledge the red flags waving in my face. Luckily, I quickly found a dreamboat of a guy soon after we split, and we've been happily married for 14 years. I'm really glad I didn't have kids with the first one.
Dang, that's awesome.
Nice,
Yeah.
good for you.
Good job. But that's crazy. I was about to defend him because I was like, damn, that's so mean of the mom to say it runs in the family. Like, it doesn't always.
Yeah,
And then
I
she said that. I was
know.
like, oh, JK. Maybe it does. Maybe it does.
Yeah, if he was
Maybe your
raised,
mom's onto something.
yeah. If the dad taught him the lack of morals and he had all these red flags you're seeing,
Yeah.
you just chose to ignore them.
So funny.
Otherwise, I wouldn't say runs in the family.
For dong.
Oh, okay, this has to be a good one because it's 18.6K upvotes. We called it the non-wedding. It was a very small backward do, and when we showed up, a relative of the groom ushered us out back and whispered that the wedding was off, but they had all this food and to help ourselves. Apparently, just that morning, the groom found out that the bride had banged the stripper at the bachelorette party, but this family said they'd already spent all the money on the party, so they'd just tell people when they arrived. It was one of the most awkward experiences of my life because the groom just sat. It was one of the most awkward experiences in my life because the groom just sat dejectedly in a chair while people tried to cheer him up. We ate a little of obligation and then just got the hell out of there.
Oh my God. And they were on the bride side, weren't they? They're from the bride side. Is that what they started with?
It doesn't say.
Oh, I don't know why.
Oh, a relative of the groom ushers back. Oh, no. I don't know who they were with.
Maybe I just assumed that because they said a relative of the groom, but I don't know. I guess then maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, it doesn't say.
Never mind. But still, that is so awkward. I don't know. I always see those of like on like online stuff where people like still try to do the party and stuff and like that. I don't know. I'd be like kind of awkward, but I guess
Maybe stop the party, but like have the group just
people
sitting
like
there.
mostly because most of those people too are like they try to make it a happy occasion. They're still dancing around, but to like see the groom just in there, just like upset, and he's like dejected, and he's just like, damn. And people are like, you're okay, man. It's gonna be okay. I feel like I couldn't stay. I feel like I would lose it.
And
I'm like,
especially because like it sounded like she ended up at a table like across from her. You're just like staring at him like,
yeah.
oh my God. Watching people come up to him, hey, take this shot. It's all good, bro. It's all good.
You're gonna make it. Oh my God.
I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine.
I'll keel over.
A top comment to that post with 7,000 upvotes. I once worked at a hotel where a wedding was canceled just a few hours before it was supposed to happen. The only information we got was the manager telling us that the father of the bride let him know that it was off, but only said there's no way she's married, that fucking son of a bitch. We guessed it was a bachelor party incident, but never found out for sure.
Dang. So crazy.
Okay, we'll do one more with 27K upvotes.
Dad. Yeah.
My cousin's backyard shotgun wedding. She changed her mind because they got in a fight that morning. My uncle still made barbecue, and it just turned into a typical family hangout. They got married the next weekend anyway. Not a very exciting story. They are still married like 22 years and 3 kids later. So that's something.
What the heck? Why did it get called off? That's why I'm confused. It's like if it got called off, why did it get called off? If they're gonna get married.
They just got in a huge fight, I guess.
Interesting.
And it was a shotgun wedding. I guess they were mad at each other and like whatever. We're not really wanting to get married anyways.
Interesting.
But then I guess they worked it out by the next weekend.
Hilarious. Well, I guess shotgun weddings aren't they usually because pregnancies? So
Yes.
I guess whatever. But at the same time, like that's crazy. Uh,
But those are some funny ones.
yeah, dude.
There's a lot more here. There's 3.6K comments. So
Dang.
if you want to see some good posts, there's some good ones on here.
Hilarious. All right, from all of our stories today, what's kind of your red flags or takeaways? Not red flags. Why did I say red flags?
I don't know.
What are
It's
your
something the same
takeaways?
thing.
I know why I said it because I guess I'll just tell my takeaway. My takeaway from today's episode is watch for the red flags, and that's why I was like, why did I say it? I know why I said it because I was thinking already. My takeaway from today is watch the red flags.
Oh yeah.
Because I feel like so many of these situations, there's so many red flags people are paying attention to, and like you just got to pay attention to red flags. You got to take them because like honestly you gotta be open to situations. People are not open their eyes to these situations.
Yeah.
For a lot of them.
And that's the thing too is like yeah these red flags are definitely warning you towards something like they're really saying stop.
Yeah.
But luckily like the best of redder one where with the dad like at least he listened to his daughter because he realized those red flags.
Fact.
Whether he wants to ignore them or not for himself, he can't ignore them for his own kid.
Yeah. Facts.
And then there's luckily for the what you call it the revenge one that you had, she took that red flag and said, "Go find your car. I'm not going on this date with you." Trash.
Exactly. She opened her eyes from the red flags already.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Some people were opening their eyes, some weren't, but like no matter what, open your eyes for these.
Mm-hmm. Look for the green flag, golden retriever, gamer boyfriend who
yeah, that tells you
who looks for advice of a random
an awkward
incident who needs a little bit of help with that because you know what?
Yeah.
He's a green flag and he's just looking for some help.
True. Open your eyes to the flags. Green or red. Honestly, you're right. That's what I mean. Because honestly, green flag on who's marrying that lady who's going to take that girl out of all of her videos and get her petty revenge. Green flag to that guy marrying her.
Yeah.
But also,
she
stood up your brother's eyes to the red flag that she cut his entire family out of all the pictures.
Oh, yeah.
Your brother needs to know that red flag.
Yeah. But
that's crazy.
That sister stood on business, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
And you know what? In her comments, I did see that she said she got half and half support in criticisms. No criticisms. No. The girl stood on business.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Would it be a little much to cut her out of your wedding? Yeah, like I mean, I would still do it. But if you just cut her, if you cut her out of your wedding, if she just cut you out, I mean, it's still eye for an eye, and I might still do it. But to cut my entire family out,
yeah,
to where even my parents are not in all these photos with my brother, where we have these memories forever.
Facts.
No, I'm cutting you from every single thing, and yeah, I'm gonna act like you're the goddamn star there. Yeah.
I get why maybe some people were probably like kind of mad at her, and it's probably the fact that she wasn't gonna invite her to this wedding at all. Which, hey, I mean, just about like you practically were not her wedding. Pictures of it didn't happen, and that's what she said. And so she cut you out. And I mean,
to be honest, her comment of what was it? The Airbnb is booked whether you're there or not.
Priceless.
Cherry on top. Yeah, that's just stood on business, and I'm here for it.
Hilarious.
So green flags, red flags. Look for the flags. Pick up the flags.
Yes.
Run from the red ones. Pick them up and dart.
Keep the green ones close. Get rid of the reds.
Yeah. Pick up the green ones. Hold them close to your heart.
Yeah. So funny.
But if anybody has like crazy stories about weddings, especially ones that like we heard that did not go through, please share those because I need to know. Yeah.
yeah, leave any comments, like and subscribe. Thanks
Yep.
for joining us today.
Bye.